Hello and welcome everybody. We are here at week 6 of the Plat League for Zero Gravity Gaming. I am Thousand Eyes, brought alongside Django this week as Gavin had just decided to leave me for the beautiful streets of Los Angeles because he is a coward. So, it is me and Django today, and I am excited to get into these games today because we have two teams that are really going to be pushing themselves hard to try and get into playoffs tonight.
Super excited to be able to join you tonight, Thousand. It has been quite some time since we've seen each other on
Oh,
cast,
yeah.
and it has been honestly way too long. So, really excited to be here. Thanks for reaching out and getting me on the cast. And yeah, teams are very interesting. I'm aware of the orgs, both Goon Squad Gaming and Imperial, both pretty well known around the streets, but the players are very new to me. So, looking it's always a pleasure when I get to cast teams and players that I've never seen before because I don't know what to expect. And that is such a breath of fresh air sometimes when you're stuck in, not I shouldn't say stuck. When you're used to casting in one league and then you come over to another and it's like, man, what's gonna happen? Anything could happen. I'm ready to get
Your
into it.
your Freudian slips there are very telling. As we are going to be getting into draft very shortly here, and we will give the R for the teams very shortly. And I am kind of curious what we're going to start seeing banned away here because stuff that we saw banned consistently previously, at least from a meta perspective, is not going to be as prioritized as it was. Hecarim got nerfed pretty good and alongside a lot of other champs as well. So there is definitely going to be a bunch of mix up in what I think teams are going to try and prioritize.
I've said it on a lot of broadcasts, but this is my first time here, so I get to say it for the first time in a new light. I think the meta is way too stale. I think there are a lot of champions right now that can be utilized that just aren't being utilized. Things like Zaya got brought into the meta, but everyone's playing at lethality, and the only thing that they changed was the crit damage for her. So maybe there's other things out there that you can explore. I think Ezreal and Draven are hyper underutilized right now. I think they're both super, super good, but we're seeing a lot of support targets early. Often, Yumi, Jenna, and Nautilus all taken off. Imperium worried about the enchanters. GSG worried about those melee engage.
Yeah, I think it's very clear here what teams are really worried about and what these teams really want to focus on. GSG looking to go for more of those passive kind of scale up, get to the mid to late game style of supports, whereas GSG looking for that engage. I like the Shen ban. I think Shen is a very, very strong top laner ever since that TP nerf. I mean, he was good before the TP nerf, to be honest, but that ultimate provides so much when you are in a coordinated environment and can move around that. So I love that ban. Imperium also taking away the Irelia.
Yeah, that's going to be taken off the board. And I think Imperium are showing a lot right here with the support pen saying, hey, Yumi and Janna off the table. We're not really willing to play enchanters because if we were, Yumi and Janna wouldn't be the enchanters to ban. I think those champions are very easy to counter by playing other enchanters, ones that just scale harder, things like Sona. I wouldn't say an underutilized champ because there's very few spots where you can safely pick it, but when you can, it's a powerful pick. Seraphine is a champion that I have maybe a little bit too much knowledge on. I love spamming that champ in ranked whenever it feels good. And right now I'm liking it, and so is GSG. That is locked. Imperium saying, hey, Jinx, still going to be a good powerhouse pick, still worthy of a B1. We're going to grab that for ourselves.
Yeah, it looks to be that these teams are gonna be trying to go for that scaling and just I don't mind the Jinx pick. I believe her nerfs were fairly minor, all things considered. I think the bigger thing that we kind of should keep in mind here is it's system healing as far as like bloodthirst or uh cheat or taste of blood, those
Yeah.
kinds of things all got nerfed pretty hard. Bloodline, all of the lifesteal items in the game. But you're talking about Olaf. Olaf has built in healing that didn't get touched So champions that
Right.
have that inherent healing now have a little bit of boost in terms of how effective they are and what they can bring to a team because it's harder to get those things outside of having it inherently in your kit.
Right. Champion like Seraphine only going to bolster up that Olaf with their advances there. And that's going to be a pretty powerful duo. Olaf as a champion gets a lot of flack when you don't pair it with something that enables it. Seraphine Olaf combination already up and utilized. And it's not very meta. It's not even very good. But a champion that is true and dear to my heart could be something that GSG is looking at right now, and that's the Sivir angle. Because let me tell you, it has decent range. It's got wave clear. Jinx's wave clear just got kind of nerfed. Less range on the Jinx. It's a better matchup. I'm not saying we will see it. I'm just saying if there was ever a Sivir angle, Olaf Seraphine is one way to go for it.
Absolutely here as we are getting further and further into the ban phase as in a Z. Okay, Azir gets
Yeah.
picked up here. This is a bit spicy because when you're talking about champions that can be played at any level, Azir is one of the last champions that enters my mind on that. So I'm curious to see what that is. I do believe Azir does have a pretty solid matchup into the Victor, but it's still like you are really putting a lot into the mechanics and understanding of a champion if you are Goonsquad Gaming Sigma.
Yeah, Goon Squad kind of laying down the gauntlet a little bit with the Azir. I feel like the Victor matchup when you're going into that is like, hey, if the Victor's good enough, I really think that they should be able to bully out Azir. But it's one of those matchups where if you know it better than your opponent, you can definitely just get in there and finesse the lane, get priority when you shouldn't have it, get better trades when you shouldn't have it. So I'm gonna keep a keen eye there. Another Enchanter band goes by the wayside, and with Azir and Seraphine both locked in, that means there was a potential of like a top lane Soraka or some really weird flexes going on.
Absolutely here as we are going to keep moving
Getting
on.
Sona
There's the
Seraphine
no,
bot. Absolutely
uh,
double Enchanter bot get. You ban 3 enchanters and GSG still find a way to put 2 into their composition. How absurd is this? And how many eggs are we putting into this Olaf basket? Because the Sona Seraphine doesn't really love the Azir until like 40 plus minutes into the game. 4 items, 5 items. You're really looking at that situation. So it's a lot of eggs in the Olaf basket right now, unless they do still have R5 for a top lane counter pick. Good, could go for something spicy there. Irelia off the board, Mordekaiser off the board, Shen off the board. Plenty of picks left open.
yeah, and here's the Malphite lock in from Imperium, looking for that engage potential, and an Anivia being locked in as
Support.
well. This is support Anivia, I would assume,
Yeah,
which
I would have to assume.
I think actually has some viability here because the early game burst that Anivia has is really potent against these champions that have very little resistances early on, and they don't have a way to dodge out from those flash frosts either.
It's very, very scary. The Seraphine probably doesn't mind the lane too much right now. Sona's the one you're going to have to keep your eyes on. That range is very, very low. You generally like to pick it into matchups where you can't get harassed, you can't get bullied too much. And if you get Jinx, going to be able to wall you off from a long range, throw down trappers. If this Sona is ever flashless, it's going to be a very, very dangerous lane for the champion to navigate.
Ooh.
It
But
is very scary, bot.
we have a Silas locked in last here, one of the premier counter picks that you end up seeing against champions like the Malphite that have really impactful ultimates. The Victor going to be great to steal. The Trundle going to make Silas a very, very strong secondary beefcake in the middle of these fights that can follow up alongside the Olaf. GSG are really looking to get into that late game scrappiness and stay alive in these long fights. It is very much a tale of two different compositions in this game.
Mhm. It's quite scary, and honestly, the Silence into the Malphite is a pick that's very common. You're right about that. Brings a lot to it. There's not a ton of other great ultimates. Jinx isn't a bad throw, but you're really looking at that Malphite as the premier one. And then I'm kind of questioning the top lane bringing AP here because now you've incentivized a lot more magic resistance to be built. Azir is going to have to spec into more penetration, and you are all eggs in your Olaf basket as far as attack damage goes. Like if this Olaf gets behind, enchanters or not, Imperium's just gonna be able to rack up magic resist and just never die.
Absolutely there, because yeah, you look at it and it is very much focused on that Olaf in terms of what is the mid game power spike, right? You have the Silas that'll be pretty solid in the mid game. The Azir is still going to be scaling up. Olaf is really what you're looking at. And you're also looking at, he's basically on his own in terms of getting into the fight, right? Because he's got to go through the pillar on Trundle, the Malphite, Anivia putting down that slow. Like the Olaf ults have to be on point in order for him to get into that back line, and he's only getting some minor speed boosts from GSG. So it is very, very important that this Olaf positioning comes in very strong.
It's gonna be a very hard ask, even outside of the ultimate. It's one of those things where Imperium has a go button. Imperium has Malphite ult, so you can see situations in teamfights where Trundle Pillar and Anivia Wall only come out as terrain blockers for this Olaf to have to physically walk around, and that's something that Ragnarok just doesn't allow you to do. It's I'm very curious. We're not in select yet, so I can't see if Olaf went for a flash or a ghost. Flash wouldn't be a bad choice of summoner spell just to be able to get over some of that inbuilt terrain from the Anivia, from the Trundle. I wouldn't hate to see it. I don't think Ghost or Flash 1 is trolling. I'm just curious if maybe the player is thinking that far into the fight.
Absolutely, and it is, remember, the Silas top lane here that you're looking at, so Silas is going to have easy access to that Malphite ult at all points of the game. I really do enjoy this now, but it does kind of bring up, I think the big thing that I'm watching here is, and I say this all the freaking time when it comes to Trundle, is you have to pay the troll toll of warding or playing safe at 3 minutes into the game, or Trundle will gank you level 3. He can only do 3 camps. Make sure you're not dying to the troll and letting him get fed.
Oh, we have a little bit of a running joke between the casters over at Titan that Trundle, that we have a troll coin with the Trundle because we see it picked a lot over there, and it is either the 1-3 Trundle with Divine Sunder that gets one-shot by everything and can't do anything, or it's the 11-2 Trundle that will literally 1v3 without an enchanter on their team. Yeah. And it's ludicrous. So, Imperium...
I mean, that's the thing that I always bring up when I talk about Trundle. It's like he has 3 camps he could do because he has 0 AoE. You're really gonna struggle if you're trying to go for anything else and trying to match an Olaf in terms of clear speed. You have to go for those single target camps that gives you, you're either going for the 2 buffs in Grump and then gank, or 2 buffs in Grump and then scuttle. So it's very, very telegraphed, but even in like higher ranks, when you get into it, it is still really easy to get those ganks off. I'm still surprised at how often Trundle can work in some of these matchups.
It's very ridiculous, and you almost get into a pattern, because I've played on teams, we've all played on teams before, and you very much kind of get into those patterns of, hey, the jungler shouldn't be here, and then there's that one jungler that is, and that jungler wins that game, and that's just sometimes you have to, then the next couple weeks you're like, well, the jungler could be there, we don't know. It's kind of like this Schrodinger's jungler almost, where it shouldn't be there, but the one time it is, it's going to ruin your day. It's going to ruin your game. GSG have a lot to overcome just from draft, in my opinion. I really think the double enchanter needs 2 AD sources, in my opinion, to work. The Azir is kind of this weird hybrid where it can utilize a lot of what Sona Seraphine is bringing while not being
attack
AD.
Speed.
Right. The attack speed, it has the long range, it has the hyper scaling. So maybe maybe I'm being a bit led astray by that pick, and Ventry can prove me wrong and have a wonderful game. But at a certain point, this game does just become Azir against the world, because we haven't even touched on it yet. The fact that for so many weeks, Jinx Victor was this OP power combo that you couldn't give away because it has so much range and so much scaling. ImPerium have managed to pick up both pieces. Yes, we're a couple patches down the road. A little bit of nerfs have come in, but I believe Victor hasn't got touched. It's still the same champion from a while ago, and Jinx's late game is practically the same as well. It's just about getting there.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the scary thing here, because you're looking at the Malphite engage, you're looking at the Anivia, who, yeah, support Anivia, but she's gonna still put out some damage and provide a lot of protection for this Jinx. This really seems like has to be GSG getting off the ground early enough that the Olaf is such a threat that the engage is never a possible option here. And that is going to require a lot of coordination, but we are going to see if GSG can perform that coordination after we take a quick break to get ready into game one. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. And hello, welcome back everybody. We are into game one with ImPerium on the blue side GSG Sigma on the red side. And okay, we did see it before we went live. They swapped it here, and before the game started, when we were paused, we looked down and saw both Pepsi of Time and 376 had Spell Thief's Edge at the same time. And I was very close to walking off stage and just letting whatever happens happen, because I didn't want to see that. But luckily, Seraphina has gone for the Doran's Ring. It is assumed she is most likely going to be the one farming there, so we'll make sure we get that in the right spot. And it is just the fan out from both teams right now. Ooh.
Nice little tag there. Has, well, not quite the amount of time to go back into lane, so that's a little bit rough. And okay, I was very worried loading in, even pre-Spell Thieves, because Pepsi of Time is the AD carry. I assumed that they were going to be doing the farming role, and that was very scary for me because the Sona is the one in danger in this lane. Thankfully, 376 can pick up the farm, going to have the range to do so, and Sona won't be constantly putting themselves in harm's way. So I agree with how they have set themselves up in this bot lane in terms of itemization and spells. The only question mark I have is I really like North Glacial on the Seraphine. Comet's going to be a lot more poke heavy. It's one of those things where you're not going to kill them, but if you feel like you need it... Oh no, the Trundle gang, no.
No, it's the two. He doesn't
happening.
even need the other ones. He is going in on the bot side, gets the pillar, but it's actually a waste of time here. So Yeti Boy losing a lot of tempo, going for not only a level 2 gank, but a gank in the opposite direction of the camps that he wants to then take.
No, Flash is going to be burned, so the Olaf is a good bit ahead. You can see already cleared 3 camps and onto the top side. Yeti Boy's going to have to do something just to get around up to a Scuttle Crab if necessary. Pixelated Pizza did take the Comet, so not going to be losing those trades abysmally hard, but the mana bar is going to be the problem. You can see it very depleted, only has 1 corrupting charge left here, and might just need to call the jungler to bail him out of this spot.
I mean, the jungler already needs bailed out though. The jungler went all in the stocks on bot lane, and those flopped really hard. They are going way down, and stocks are real bad. Yeti Boy is not going to be retiring early anytime soon, and now the Malphite also kind of struggling there. I did want to point out one of the things with Malphite, especially with the Comet build, is you want to time your Qs with the mana flow band and make sure that is when you are using it for the poke. If you are doing it too much, you will end up in the same spot Pixelated Pizza is in, and that means he can't help his jungler as 874 looks to try and get some aggression into the Trundle's face.
Oh, Yeti Boy, it's just going from bad to worse. Tried to go for the 3 camps into Scuttle, but both solo laners were getting pushed in, and 874 was able to clear all 6 camps before meeting him at that Scuttle, and now has priority to just walk to the other one. It is a massive farm and experience advantage. Bot lane gets a crash from an early reset, probably gets the tier out of the Seraphine.
Epic Champion is doing some damage. Not even close. He doesn't even do anything. Malphite, broken champion. He is a champion that is built around building armor, and he didn't die to Silas. That's a win.
10 out of 10 for Pixelated Pizza here. Down a good bit in the CS department, but that's to be expected slightly. Silas is going to have better trading patterns for a good bit. You just need to build yourself up to wall status, and should be decently easy to do this game. It's a very big lead for 874, but the rest of the team is feeling extraordinarily blue with all these tiers and Doran's Rings coming in, honestly. So, see if 874 is able to get onto the map and help his team feel a little bit less blue. Right now, just power farming, straight back onto the map after grabbing that pickaxe, right back into the jungle rotation, and been pretty stock standard from 874 here, and it's already causing a decent gold lead.
Yeah, already off the ground really strongly here. And man, this is actually kind of scary because we talked about how GSG, I mean, they have a solid lead here. It's just, can they push this lead harder? Can they get this Olaf even more ahead? Can they get this Silas even more ahead? Because those two lanes are the really volatile ones that can do some crazy stuff. That actually, I didn't think about that. The wall push will trigger Glacial. Does that then apply the Q? Or apply the like extra damage from the E?
No.
Yeah.
So it's just because it's a like shove ability, kind of like the
yeah.
where it moves the champion, and that is counted as CC. And so it procs the Glacial, but it does not give the Anivia passive buff, sadly. I think one thing that we can look at outside of the top lane for 874.
Oh, wait, yeah, top lane there is the engage, the stolen Malphite ultimate. He doesn't even have his own, and he's going to go down, given to the Olaf here. Didn't do anything, dropped his axe, said, oops, killed a mountain, walked away. Olaf now in a very scary spot if you are an ImPerium fan. But speaking of scary spots, that's kind of double enchanter. Double enchanter doesn't care.
Yeah, it's very hard to burn through all of those shields and healing and then have the damage to continue going after that. It's pretty much impossible right now for Imperial Shadow. You had a couple levels right at the beginning where it was possible, but the wave clear is too strong. Really, level 6 onwards is when you need to call a jungler, get the burst down onto a single target, but haven't blown any flashes, and Yeti Boy is just struggling to find a way into this game. 874 has just had to do nothing and is sitting with a 600 gold lead, 700 gold lead. Wow, I absolutely underestimated the Olaf.
He's the smart one in the team, yes. Yeah, Silence though now getting a gank as the flash follows from Ventry just to get a little more damage as 874 picks up another kill now. Another gank bot lane. There is no mana on this Seraphine, as 376 is gonna actually get away. They did not have the range to follow up on it. And now 874 showing up on this Trundle. Look at the damage coming through. The Iron Spike whip already finished, and Yeti Boy a level down, not gonna be able to do anything here. This seems like an opportunity to go for that first dragon if GSG want it. Oh, wait. Oh, lane. Pixelated Pizza going in with the heals. The Kingslayer coming through. Epic Champion staying alive and not going to be turning it around. Bot lane, still some trading, but oh, man, I thought Pixelated Pizza had that.
Very, very close. Epic Champion didn't have quite the reaction time to flash it there. If dodged that damage, the Silas could have turned it around, but not going to be the case. 874 still not going for this dragon is getting to be a little bit precocious because we need to see this team really hit the ground running, and while he has a big lead, we want to see him expand it to other lanes, to other parts of the map. Neutral objectives are the way to do that, but now you've got 2 on the map. Allowing Yeti to trade in an even trade would just be a losing situation right now. So 874 really prioritizing getting gold onto his single champion, getting that mythic online very fast. It's costing his team neutrals, however.
Yeah, very much so. And now, as you can see, Silas, with that pressure advantage, is able to get deep wards in here. This is really smart stuff here. Silas finally making great use of that advantage, and now they know where Trundle is.
Trundle's spotted on the top side, and that's exactly where GSG want them, because that's where their jungler is.
Here is the engage. Epic Champion going in is level 8 to the level 6 of Yeti Boy, and now Pixelated Pizza coming down does not have the Unstoppable Force ready, and that is just going to be nothing gained there from GSG on that.
Nothing lost by Yeti Boy, had the smite to secure his own blue buff, so doesn't get that one stolen away by a pesky top laner. It is the roam from Pepsi all the way up to start the Rift Herald, so they're going to grab that one, but honestly, they haven't had a ton of lane pressure. They've had winning lanes, but no plates have gone down in the first 10 minutes of the game, so a pretty slow map state. We're going to see lane phase extend probably into that 16, maybe even 18-minute mark. Herald picked up a bit too late for second Herald to end the laning phase, and Lanes are going slow, and right now that's favoring GSG Shuffle.
Oh, wait, there's the shuffle, and Pepsi of Time gets a flash, but does not actually hit Silent Snow. Is just going to be around to try and get the assist. Silent Snow got to get ignited there, and that is going to be just the kill. Pepsi of Time picks that one up. Didn't even have the ignite, so that is actually kind of griefing.
Yeah, Pepsi was trying to give the kill over there and wasn't hitting it low HP. Then the Trundle Pillar came out and felt the need to use the Empowered Slow to slow down Silent Snow. But sadly, a little bit of alliteration there. Very surprised I didn't stumble. Sadly, that damage was enough to take the kill. So Pepsi's going to pick that one up. Honestly, support main, biased. Support's getting killed pre-mythic.
We're both support mains.
It's in some worlds very advantageous, right? Getting towards that first mythic item even faster is an insanely good. Epic Champion is just demolishing him in the trades. Good flash.
Wait, hold on. There's the re-engage from Pixelated Pizza. It just means he stays alive, but it was such a good play there to stay in that fight. Really good stuff there from Pixelated Pizza to stay alive. Now, we also did see in the meantime, the dragon did go down over to GSG as they did get that off the mid lane kill. So GSG is still running strong in this first game of the day.
874 picking up those neutrals late, better than never, and running straight through another full clear. The Olaf needs to get back to base, because if you swap over to gold, you can see that there is a fat 2k paycheck sitting in the Olaf's pocket. That's going to be a gore drinker and then some. And you've got a Rift Herald to make a big play. Again, not a lot of plates have been cracked, so the question is, where do you put it? You're not going to be able to keep it up in time for Dragon. Just want to get some solo laners ahead. I'm going to say bot's the worst place. Top and mid is both fine.
Yeah, I mean, those are definitely the ones you want to open up, especially if you can get that Silas roaming, right? But, I mean, the big thing is I see so many people hold on to this and just not get the plates off as Ventry going to go for the shuffle once again. Pepsi of Time is back. Flash from Silent Snow will just be the disengage, but it is another Summoner Burn, and Silent Snow still on the back foot.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of roam time out of Pepsi here, and 376 has just been really solid in the bot side. Down 10 CS, 15 CS rather, but honestly, as a Seraphine and practically a solo lane for at least a third of the time, doing quite well, utilizing that range, and now
Just
they're punishing the flashless mid laner.
Yeah, and this is here where the push is coming in. 874 now. There's the unstoppable Ragnarok going in, and that is just going to be the Victor going down. Here comes the TP now, though, for Pixelated Pizza. Does have Unstoppable Force. Gets used on the 2 on the north side, and it is going to be the Azir going down. Epic Champion is trying to stay alive in this. He is healing. He is staying alive, but he can't get onto the Malphite, and now Yeti Boy is trying to run him down. He's going to get the kill. Kingslayer does not come up in time, and it is actually a one fight for ImPerium after all is said and done, but the Rift Herald is going to crack some nice plates for GSG.
Kill advantage over to ImPerium. GSG still gonna come out on top in gold with the Rift Herald crash. Very crucial for 874 not to die in that situation. Wouldn't have been able to place the Rift Herald if that was the case, so really like the Olaf playing a bit safe there, but you just saw GSG trying to split up 2 top, 2 bottom. Playing in between the towers just wasn't a good look. Pepsi might be in trouble. To say Imperial Shadow actually not building towards AP, so the damage is very, very low until Jinx gets online. I'm not sure if I like that or not. It's a lot of AP if the Anivia does go for damage. That is a point of contention. Imagine we'll see Imperial Mandate. Yep, as I say, that already picked up. Imperial Shadow has an interesting way of playing the Anivia support. I've seen it a couple times, and it's usually more cheese kind of kill lane situation.
Yeah, you say that like Anivia support is not a cheese pick inherently.
I'm just saying, and Shadow doesn't have the Shadow isn't playing it like it's a cheese pick. It's a scoop again onto Snow.
This poor Victor.
3 for 3 at a Ventry.
Look, he already lost his boyfriend Jace. Do you really need to hurt him more like this?
It's been a tough, lonely road for Victor, and he's not going to find any companionship outside of the enemy jungler on Summoner's Rift this game. Solace in the bot lane, big CS lead starting to open up for Mace. Gonna have that item on the line. Going to say Kraken, but oh, that's still gonna connect.
Straight backwards. That's not the way you want to do it there. As actually the axe does miss, but the root comes through thanks to the slow from the Chilling Smite. They're trying to get the soul off, but he cannot be disabled, and he will just walk away. A pickup there, 874. 4-0-1 in the game at the moment, and he is just gonna get stronger and stronger.
Flashing in a straight line from Maze there, not what you wanted to see. The Olaf misses 2 undertows and still able to run him down just with the Shirelia's move speed and the Chilling Smite. It was actually a nice little interaction, the Chilling Smite proccing the root off of 376. Pepsi time.
So here's the thing, I just checked this. Shadow is maxing the wall first, as opposed to any of the damage.
Cheesy as heck.
Yeah, I'm looking, because I watched that and I was like, that Anivia did no damage. Why is that Anivia doing no damage? Despite, like, I know it's Imperial Mandate. I went and checked. That is actually the W max on that, which is a choice you can make in League of Legends.
It's not even the worst choice, to be fair. Most enemies max the wall second in a lot of scenarios. Anyways, it provides a lot of utility if you know how to use it. But Shadow's really playing this kind of team fight supportive centric Anivia rather than playing for some sort of cheese, rather for trying to punish the low range of Pepsi time. And so far hasn't netted too much in terms of power. It's just been a lot of advantages gained for the AD carry. Jinx did go for the Gale Force. I was almost about to make that point, and I don't think it's a horrible choice. You're not going to be able to use your traps as a safety mechanism from the Olaf. You've got a lot of line skill shots to get out of, like the Malphite ult coming out of Champion, like the Seraphine and the Sona ult, so I really don't hate the Gale Force pickup. Does hurt your damage.
There is
not
the
a third time. Has Flash.
Yeah, Flash will get away from the shuffle. Says, not again. Not this time. But I am going to hobble up back here. You guys can have the tower.
I mean, Silent Snow is just getting absolutely cyber-bullied in this game. Lost the Flash the first time. Died 3 times after losing the Flash. And since then, just reclaimed it. Just lost it again. That's going to be down for another 5 minutes. Silent Snow just has no safe place on the map. Mid and bot lane just being absolutely targeted by Pepsi inventory.
Yeah, Silent Snow has not had an opportunity to get in the game. I did want to check and see what we have upgraded. I believe the E is upgraded. They're still working on the Q. And it is just still going to be scaling. GSG really keeping their foot on the pedal, but it feels like that there is still the possibility of the comeback here, because while it is a lead, it is not an insurmountable lead, and it is not because these champions are starting to get too out of hand too quickly.
Right. I was actually just about to bring this up. We're sitting at 19 minutes. We have a 4K gold lead. That's really nice. However, you're sitting on 2 dragons that stat-wise really don't give your team a lot, especially at 19 minutes. You're going to be rolling into an Ocean Soul, which means the 3rd dragon isn't going to give you a lot of stats. Now, by that time, Infernal will have scaled up a small amount once you get to start getting towards those second items on your carries. However, it's a situation of, I feel like Imperium will get a 2-item team fight off. And if they're able to get that with a big enough advantage to grab a Baron off of it, you can see a very realistic comeback. The question is, GSG, how can you play these next 7.5 minutes so perfectly that you get this Ocean Soul? Because Ocean Soul with double enchanters might actually just be unbeatable.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I could think that would actually be a little more scary is Ventry hopping over the wall. I'm actually a little surprised they didn't collapse on that one. So here's the thing that I have experienced playing Seraphine. If there is a Mountain Soul, you just get free heal W's the entire game because you just walk around and push W. The way her W works, it's not 2 casts of her W in a row. It is, if you are shielded when you push W, you will get the heal. So it's a little bit crazy when you're getting that that available for your team. Luckily though, it is the Ocean Soul that is on the map, and now we're seeing the back here from Ventry as the dragon is going to spawn in 30 seconds. This feels a little risky. GSG are on a ward though.
GSG going to be able to smite away the Scuttle Crab, and that's very nice for them to have that vision denied more than anything else. Now ImPerium just playing with what wards they have on the map. Do have a sneaky one in the pit, catching out the dragon. ImPerium are here. They want to fight this. They're dropping Herald. Yeti Boy actually took that in probably some sort of bot scuffle. We didn't see it on camera, but now they're going to have that one in. GSG want the dragon. It's very obvious from the positioning. It's going to be a 4v4 with Seraphina Nivea in the mid lane, and Epic Champion looking for a flank.
Yeah, that's the scary thing.
Of wards.
Just look at him. He's got the Malphite on. He's thinking about coming around. This flank is ready. They know he's there, and he says, get away. Do not hurt my friends with my own abilities, please.
Okay, 2K, it's going low.
There's the engage from Pixelated Pizza, but the other engage, the other Unstoppable Force does a lot more damage in the backline, and that Jinx is just going to wipe the double kill right now for 874, and he is still going. He's going into the backline. It is a clean ace by GSG, and they are going to get their Soul Point Dragon at 22 minutes into the game, and I think this is going to be a Baron as well.
Yeah, if they don't translate this into a Baron, they're absolutely trolling. It's the freest objective on the map and the most worthwhile to get. ImPerium, I know how hard it must feel giving up that soul point, but so many of your champions were behind components. I really wonder if you ought to push that fight back just to the soul fight to slightly increase your chances, but I do mean slightly. Not the choice they went for, however, and they got absolutely slapped out of the air. It feels like Mace is the only one on ImPerium with any sort of a lead, and he's had to spend it on Gale Force and Rapid Fire. The DPS is just not there from this Jinx, and you saw the 3-man Malphite ultimate out of Epic Champion. If you get ults like that in a team fight, I'm not even sure if you need the 4K gold lead, which is now ballooned to 9,000 at the 23-minute mark. We needed to see the team go fast, and they are pedal to the metal.
Yeah, this is really terrifying now, right? Because you've got the 6-0 Olaf, who is just going to wipe the floor with that entire team right now, and this Victor 05, this Jinx 02. What are your options now? If you are, is the only option just turtle as hard as you can for ImPerium?
I mean, you have, let me rephrase, you had decent wave clear with Jinx, with Victor. However, Baron is the thing that makes these sieges strong. I would really like to see GSG play this Baron fairly slow. 3 outers, maybe 2 outers, and an inhibitor tower. You don't need to go for anything big. You don't need to go for anything risky. Just inflate your gold lead. Don't, give a crazy flank up. Play very slow. If you only even get 2 towers out of it, I'll be satisfied. You don't need to risk the game, but Epic Champion sees everyone on the map, and it's just an easy solo kill. It really is.
Yeah, I don't even need to say anything there.
There's nothing to say. It's the 3rd time the solo laners have just been absolutely brutalized this game.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like one side was just kind of a counter pick, the other just had much more attention brought to it, and everything now from ImPerium. Right, and remember, going into this, ImPerium really wanted to get these wins because they are, I believe, no, they are 1-4 right now. GSG Sigma are 2-3, so it is really the push for playoffs right now, and ImPerium need to get some wins under their belt in order to be in the discussion for it.
And you can see, the team is having a very hard time walking up for autos on these towers. The problem is they just have so much gold in so many different carries that they can play on 3 lanes. They can push all 3 lanes. Seraphine is too safe to get collapsed on. Epic Champion is too scary for any one member to take. And then the other 3 can just walk up every wave for a couple auto attacks. 874 is so unbelievably tanky, even with just 1 enchanter by his side. They're just gonna clean house. I mean, I asked for 3 towers. Right now, they're knocking down their 5th, and they've already gotten an inhibitor. GSG are just so ungodly ahead. 13,000 gold at the 25-minute mark. Soul spawning in 1 minute. You need the team fight of an absolute sentry, and I just don't know how you get it because those second items still aren't online. Jinx had rapid fire at the last dragon fight. No one else has completed a second item.
Yeah, it's really looking scary here, and now Malphite trying desperately to get something going here. You can see just sitting on multiple components of items.
I really can't tell if GSG are flexing a little bit or if I am just so clueless about top lane itemization, because there is a Muramana on a Sylas and there is a Black Cleaver on an Olaf when you're the only AD. And I just don't know if those items are secretly really good on the champions.
I mean, okay, like, it makes sense on Olaf, right? Because, like, all his abilities are doing... his Q is doing physical damage, so you can Q, auto, like, you stack it fast, and it's helpful. Yeah, like,
it's just
still
percentage armor, and no one's building armor. That's my biggest problem.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but... Also, yeah, it at least makes sense. There are at least scalings for that, as there is the engaged trying to go in, does not get it. It is actually the Sona picking that one up, and Soul will be given, as it is just gonna be GSG walking away with that. I don't want to say cleanly, because the smite was a little bit something to be desired.
874 might honestly have just not been expecting that. There's no wards right now over the pit. I don't know if they were cleared out or they were just assuming that ImPerium was going to roll over and die. No Baron is not a problem when there are no towers on the map. Gonna take this second inhibitor. Flash Charm.
Yeah. I mean, it was more of a charm flash. Did not actually follow the Seraphine there, didn't get it, but Ventry now going in pretty deep, has to flash away from under the tower, and Shadow going low. There is the unstoppable force. Sylas making better use of the Malphite ult than Malphite has this entire game. And unfortunately now, as GSD are going to keep pushing in, there is a big shuffle coming in, and Ventry just going to tank the tower, doesn't care. He's going to keep pushing on to that, the double kill for Epic Champion as 874 picks up one for himself. They want to kill the Malphite, but I don't know if they're going to. Just take the towers, take the win. And that is GSG taking game 1 of the night and looking pretty damn dominant doing it.
The solo lanes were so pivotal. The jungler was so insane. 376 just playing a really nice weak side game. And Pepsi with time roaming around the map, having the most fun Sona games. When Sona hasn't died in a game, it's a very, very dominant game. And I want to pay a little bit of respect to Ventry. 1-1-10 is not the most beautiful scoreline. There were other highlight players that game. But when I see an Azir at this level, I am not expecting a Mastery of the Champ that I saw today. Ventry absolutely performed on the pick, landed 5-6 shuffles. A couple of them got flashed away from. Like, the Azir was on point.
The Azir was looking really good. And I mean, you did bring it up too, the Sona. Being able to roam like that, leaving the Seraphine alone, and then the pick of the Jinx and the Anivia not able to capitalize on that, really. I feel like Sona being able to roam more than your kind of cheesy early game support pick is... that says a lot about where this game went. And it created so much pressure that Silent Snow... It wasn't about Ventry doing incredible things and popping off doing tons of damage. It was about the fact that Silent Snow could not breathe for 3 seconds in this game.
Oh, the Victor got absolutely pummeled throughout the entire game. Just didn't have the chance to play it, and so many other lanes didn't have enough to do. We saw the Jinx taking a lot of the resources early game. Bot lane just got left on an island, and Jinx loves that. But because of the enemy composition and how snowballed everyone was, had to itemize more for mobility and range rather than being able to go something like Kraken and Phantom and just outputting damage and really put ISP rather, into a very hard spot that honestly, like we said, it was comebackable up until a certain point, but GSG really slammed that door shut around the third dragon. Masterful team fighting, masterful pathing out of the jungler in the early game. Didn't have to do a lot, but everywhere he needed to be, counter ganked every time. So you can't really complain.
Yeah, I mean, great stuff. GSG looking really solid, but Imperium still have more games to play. We're going to be going into game 2, but we're going to take a quick break to get ready for that one. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with the draft for game 2 in just a second. And welcome back, everybody. Jeez, I'm going. It's okay, guys. It's second puberty. Uh, I we are getting ready for game two, as Imperium and GSG are not switching sides. We are getting the same sides. We're gonna get ready for draft. And what do we want to see change here for both these teams? Because I think both of us agreed. While there were bright points,
Mhm,
things need to change
mhm.
for both teams.
So, oh wow, things to change. There could be so many. Um, I feel like top side of the map, I didn't hate awfully with their draft. Maybe try not to blind pick their solo laners, both of them. I didn't hate either of the picks, and the Trundle pick is fine. Not my favorite. A lot of jungles prefer it, but it just got off to such a bad start that I don't hate it. The bot lane is kind of where I'm looking. Jinx B1 is not really a power pick in my opinion. I think there's plenty of other AD carries you can go for. And given you knew what you were going into, I don't love the Anivia pick, and I really didn't like how it got played. I think if you're going to go for Anivia support, cheese it the heck up. And if you're going to cheese it the heck up, you need an AD carry that can cheese with you. So I just didn't like the pairing in the bot lane, but more in-game stuff needs to be fixed than draft, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that here as we are kind of getting into the bans. Going slowly here is the switch up from Imperium, taking away the Alawi and the Seraphine. I mean, look, after that game, I can understand the Seraphine ban because you basically had a solo laning and your bot lane couldn't do much about it. So if you're planning on just running that kind of a lane back, go for something that force them to take something that doesn't scale as well, right?
Yeah, it's very hard. And the range on the Seraphine is one of the hardest things that they have to deal with. However, Imperial banned a lot of enchanters last time around, and now they're all going to be up. Yuumi and Janna are on the board for GSG. The swap up is going to be targeted in the bans here. Sylas and Seraphine taken off, so maybe still wanting to look at that Malphite possibly. Just didn't like the lane matchup very much. Fair. And it was a rough time. GSG saying, hey, you can't punish our bot lane if we take away these picks from you. We're going to continue to have probably a very similar strategy where we leave bot lane on an island, maybe support roams, maybe we miss a ban. But you're not going to have these terrifying supports. You're not going to have Thresh and Nautilus to engage on us whenever you want.
I do want to point out here that GSG are running an E-sub here, so that last ban is not a mistake. That is an accepted lost ban. Epichampion moves to the mid lane, and English Muffin 67. That is a very old English Muffin playing the video game. Shen has been picked. Hey, got through.
Okay.
We're gonna get to see it. I'm gonna cry because it's a champion that I hate seeing.
Well, oh, hey, the swaps don't end there, by the way. It is Epic into the mid lane and Ventry into the jungle. So it's 8-7-4 who was not able to continue for game 2. And we're bringing in a lot of swap ups. Now, there is that Yuumi that was banned away. Ezreal to pair alongside it. And yeah, seems like more of the same from GSG. Bot lane, you're not going to be able to touch. Yumi's going to be there as long as the Ezreal needs them. Probably gonna piece out onto the jungler. Hey, we saw Pepsi team up with the mid lane and the jungler a lot more than we saw Pepsi and 376 in lane together. Probably gonna get more of the same here. Now this is a good switch up, however. Caitlyn gonna try and push the lane advantage, gonna try and get big advantages there. Classic pairing we see is the Lux. You could also go something like a Karma. But this isn't. I like this. I like this. With the Shen, you have a strong side bot.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but you're looking at something that, oh no, that sucks though. Yeah, the Mordecais are going to come through. Remember, you're not going to be able to push that Shen R if you are in the Shadow Realm. But like you said, that bot lane, the poke coming through, forcing Yuumi to blow through all her mana to keep Ezreal healthy here, and possibly forcing Yuumi to stay in that lane a lot more often than maybe they would have wanted to see. So this is a nice switch up here. And I think the other thing that we're looking at now is, since the top laners have been picked up, it is junglers that are going to have to pick up their champions in this later rotation now. One of those bans has been Nunu, not Sejuani, so keep that in mind. It is not a Sejuani ban, and that is a Nunu ban.
Take Nunu off the board from the Yeti boy. Fair enough, I suppose. And ImPerium, I think, also kind of want to go the jungle ban route if I'm sitting in their seats right now. Mid is a pretty wide open pull, and you're going to have this really pushing bot lane. You want to get rid of junglers that are just going to be able to spam ganks. Right now, that's what GSG are actually doing, and you could say for similar reasons. They don't want the Ezreal to get spam banked. ImPerium don't want to take a lot of pressure either. I don't think there's any one big ban you can take away. Two bans felt like you could really limit the jungle pool with like Xin Zhao and Lee Sin or something of that combination. But now there's a lot of options left realistically. So it's going to be double mid bans.
And taking away aggressive mid bans here. The Irelia and the Zed taking off the really forward, aggressive, in-your-face mid laners here, giving a little bit more space to breathe for Silence now in that mid lane this time around. Remember, it is going to be the Epic champion going into the mid lane this time, as opposed to Ventry that we saw last time. Viego is the pickup here, giving a bit more reset potential, a bit more early game prowess with those resets in those mid-game skirmishes.
Yeah, I can't say I love the pick. However, I feel like it must be comfort for Ventry moving into the jungle here, because all you saw was Lux, Caitlyn, Shen. You really don't have a lot of great resets off that. You have a lot of range. You have targets that are very hard to kill, with the Shen being able to mitigate some auto attack damage. And while the Volibear Lissandra are honestly better souls for you to possess, it's still not a fantastic Viego game, all things considered. But GSG wanted to give that blind, or that counter pick rather, to the mid laner, and they're going to throw down the gauntlet here a little bit with the Syndra into Lissandra matchup.
All right here, yeah, going for just a little bit of scariness. The Volibear alongside the Shen, I mean, it is very clear what ImPerium want to do here. And I think that's much more than we got last time around. Because last time it was like, well, we'll exist in the late game and push our buttons. This time around, you've got a solidified composition. You're going to dive towers. You're going to use Volibear. You're going to use Shen. Set up ganks in the mid lane with that with the Lissandra Volibear. There's definite things that ImPerium can do in this game.
I agree with you, but here's where I'm scared, Thousand. ImPerium have their comp set up. Shen going to be the weak side top lane. Kate Lux going to have the push bot lane. You're going to want to dive down with both the Volibear and Lissandra if possible, you know, all things going correctly. And that is where things get interesting, because the Syndra's going to be able to keep up with the wave clear. If they get any sort of advantage, we'll be able to bully the Lissandra to a certain extent too. Now, Lissandra very safe in the lane, but won't be able to get push. And that's when we need to see ImPerium working as a mid-jungle duo, which is just something Silent and Yeti did not do at all last game.
I mean, really, it felt like Yeti was silent last time around, because we did not see much from the Trundle, but this time around it is going to be the Volibear. Similar playstyle in that early game power, but definitely has a bit more in terms of setup this time around. So we'll see what is going to be possible here. Now, I'm looking at this Syndra from Epic Champion, and Syndra's always kind of an enigma, right? Because it feels like she always, even if you put her in the ground, she still will one-shot you. Am I wrong?
No, not absolutely. And the people who have to worry about that are going to be the people that are going to be the big focus for ImPerium. It's going to be the Kate Lux that have the target on their backs from this Syndra Epic Champion, wanting to push that skill button rather on one of those bot laners, because Lissandra has the self-mitigation, Volibear Shen, tanky for obvious reasons, so that is the target here for Epic Champion. And I really think that GSG have the weaker comp in terms of what should be able to be accomplished. What I'm scared is just what we saw last game fits so well for Sigma. 376 is just going to leave the lane. Pepsi of Time is going to do his absolute best to not die 5 times before the game. And Epic Champion might just run the game from having a better lane. And Silent got a lot of jungle pressure and support ganks. And if we see that same thing happen, ImPerium suddenly can't dive bot on repeat. And while the comp, I do like blue side comp more, red side just already proved to me that they know how to execute this game state.
Yeah, so now we're just kind of going to see here. Here's the thing. ImPerium, they have that strong side bot lane, but it is a similar situation of can they punish it, right? You've got the scariness of a Viego gang. The only thing you really got to stop is some traps and a Lux binding, things that Viego is capable of avoiding if played correctly. So there is push pressure, there is power in that bot lane, but it is very dependent on them being able to safely be up on that tower, and that really comes into question when you look at how many in-game mistakes that we did see from ImPerium in game 1.
When you play champions like this Kate Lux, you are playing a very thin line for a good margin of the game. You need to be up, you need to be taking tower plates, you need to be harassing your enemy, you need to be doing all of that while not getting ganked and while not becoming a void of pressure, because a Caitlyn Lux that falls behind is just absolutely useless. And I want to preface before we get into this game that Mace and Shadow are not the only two that need to be knowledgeable of this fact going into the game. Yeti Boy and Silent So need to understand that they have to be there for their bot lane. Pixelated Pizza, gonna be a little bit harder with the Mordekaiser counter, not gonna lie. Hoping for the best, but honestly probably gonna have a pretty rough time up in the top lane. Might just be a 4v4 scrap in the bot side, and we've kind of already seen that favor GSG. I think there's enough there to make it work for ImPerium. I just didn't see it last game, and so I am skeptical.
Yeah, well, we're going to take a quick break as we get ready to see if that skepticism is warranted or not. But do not go anywhere, because we're going to see if GSG can close this one out in 2 games, or if ImPerium are going to take us to a game 3. We will be right back after this break.
I'm good.
And welcome back, everybody. We are in game 2. Both teams on the same side. A couple of different players, but it is still the same teams in the game. And now we're actually seeing a little bit of funky stuff here from ImPerium as they are moving in, maybe looking to get a cheeky kill in the level 1 fight.
Pepsi's going to be able to completely spot this out. Lets them know with the mystic shot over the corner, and they're not going to be able to grab too much here. Ward? Okay, we did it. Drop a ward right there. English Muffin, going to know what to do. Go ahead and ward the other. He just walked in. He didn't ward.
There's no better ward than yourself.
Wait.
No, he did put the word.
Who was there? Wait, that was
Ventry.
Yep. Oh my goodness, deep in enemy lines.
I get that they're both like dead, but like have a little bit of respect of the
so Muffin
walked characters.
Muffin walked up the ramp and into the blue buff area, and that's what I was watching. I didn't even notice Ventry was backing in the bush.
We pay this man to speak, by the way, and he just said muck it.
Muffin, muck it, muffin.
Yeah. Please stop before you say something that gets our Twitch banned.
Fair enough.
As we are underway in the game. Epic Champion now going to be just farming out. Hopefully looking to get Silent Snow in a similar position as we did last game, already putting some strong damage down against this Lissandra.
See, Champion did go for the Ignite plus the Electrocute combo. Going to be matched in runes, but teleport on Silent means that the Syndra wants to be more lane aggressive when it comes, and you can see that in the level 1. Aiming the Qs to not hit all 3 back minions, wants to go ahead and grab Silent on the edge. Has been doing a pretty good job at that thus far. Other notable runes here that I want to take a look at is the Ezreal Conquer. Not my choice. A lot of people like it. Really not a fan of it, if I'm going to be very honest, but we'll see if it ends up helping him. There are games where it really pops off, and there are games where at 20 minutes it's done 76 healing, and that's pretty troll. But we'll see how it goes. Double longsword start in the bot lane. I like that out of Pepsi. I'm not sure if I love it out of Masse.
Oh, Silent Snow. Hold on. Epic Champion taking a lot of damage. That was a very costly Ignite, actually, for Epic Champion, but it is still going to give a little bit of pressure. Silent Snow has to be very careful because one combo will just take him down. They got the TP to go back.
Able to get back into lane with the teleport if they so choose, but yeah, Epic Champion kind of looking for an auto Q there, realized he didn't have enough space and had to just take the Ignite loss and walk out. I appreciate not over-committing, but now you can see Ventry wants to punish this low HP bar. Does still have the Ring of Frost on Silent Snow. Whoa!
Oh yeah, there is this start around. Great dive, and back to what we saw in the beginning there is actually Volibear is trying to chase down the Lissandra. Directed camera does apparently not think that's important, as Yeti Boy just gonna back away, and that is a easy kill off the dive. Yeti Boy still going forward on this. There's still a Lissandra there, buddy. He did not go back. Epic Champion gonna get some burst down and another kill. So that is 2. Masse also just caught out. Here's Silent Snow with the TV back. They're still fighting Ventry. Not taking very much damage thanks to the fact that he is now the bear. Imp Shadow, nice little sidestep to avoid that, as there is the Q from Pepsi of Time. And that will be another kill into the pocket. Actually, the Yuumi picks that one up, but it is still 3-0 for GSG right out the gate.
Oh, it feels so bad for ImPerium, man. The mid lane kill goes over, and that's kind of to be expected. The Ignite diff in the mid lane, really nice gank by Ventry, and going down 1-0 for the first blood, kind of par for the course. From that point, losing 2 more members is just so tragic. Blue buff handed over to the Syndra, who hasn't based yet, and is gonna push Silent Snow out once again. Things are just so awful for the bot side. Good news is the Caitlyn didn't die and didn't burn summoners, so bot lane can still be aggressive. Yeah, you can see the CS lead just isn't accruing yet.
It's like saying the good news is you're gonna have a disease named after you. It's like, well, yeah, cool, yeah. Viego looking to come down onto the bot side Venture, just gonna get spotted on a ward, and it is going to be actually the push coming through. I think they want to try and go for this dragon, and with the power that they have, it is definitely theirs for the taking.
Yeah, can pretty much get on that any point. Ventry not 874, might go for the early dragon, but no, pathing up towards the camps. I will say early dragons are very, very costly. You have to have more than just the jungler there. The dragons do a fair amount of damage. If you're not an Olaf, it's pretty hard to solo those ones out. The Viego would need a bit of assistance with just the Noon Quiver. So not going to be able to do that. Pepsi of Time and 376 want to use their time to get back to base. Can't really blame them for that. It looks like, yeah, Mase and Shadow actually have a bit of a freeze going in the bot lane. It's not a perfect one. It's going to slow push back, but they should be able to hard push the next wave and grab a tower plate and get a free base. CS lead acquired for the Caitlyn. We'll see if it can get any harder. English Muffin doing well in the top side. An Epic Champion continuing to grow that lead in the mid lane.
Absolutely,
Double
and I mean the
CS,
gold,
by the way.
yeah, gold has to be very skewed in favor of that mid lane and the jungle right now, as it is going to be very hard for GSG to lose this one out. I mean, 52 to 24 in the mid lane, and Lissandra really not having a fun time.
I mean, see, Silent Snow can't even wrap their heads around enough gold to grab anything of use on back. It's a boots base, it's a sapphire crystal
Pretty
base.
gem.
Like, there's no refillable, there's no corrupting, there's no magic.
Well, goodbye. Yeah, there's another. The gem did not help. They were not true gems, and therefore it was another death for Silent Snow, as we'll go down to that ultimate from Epic Champion. And now they're looking for a dive on the top side. Ventry going in, getting the stun, but actually no, Pixelated Pizza gets the taunt down, and English Muffin, this is holding out. I mean, for all it is worth, even though Pixelated Pizza has not been able to get a lead, he is keeping the top and jungle guessing when going for these dives.
Pizza has been very, very confident and comfortable underneath their own tower. That, combined with the fact that Yeti Boy is able to grab a dragon on the bot side, knowing
Major
that
win.
Ventry isn't there, is a major win. Can't disagree. Now Pepsi of Time looking to find the enemy jungler. There is no level 6 on this Storm Bear. You have to imagine he'll just hightail it right away. And that's actually pretty big, because Syndra getting this blue buff, just got to keep the domination in mid. Still double CS. Epic Champion, mid or top, does not seem to matter. Ventry, not going to get locked down now. Silent Snow is somewhat in a good position. As well, not good position. Let's reframe that. Is in a more favorable spot than he was 2 minutes ago. Flash coming back online. Frozen Tomb to defend against the Unleashed power. And it's a very nice point in time where the Lissandra can kind of stop dying. Would have liked to see a Null Magic over that Amplifying Tome, but it's pretty obvious right now that Epic Champion is just the star of the show.
I want to point this out as we did just see it go away. 8.2 CS per minute on this Syndra. That is...
Oh, that's 2 ultis.
That, yeah, and that's also just like a lack of communication, right?
Yes. That was Pixelated Pizza watching the minimap as they walked back to lane, you know, just hovering, making sure, doing the Soraka thing, and there probably just wasn't communication. That was an oopsie. That was a Herald when it was.
I know there's a ward
here.
And you know, I want
honestly, they might get a full tower out of this. Oopsie.
Not an oopsie if it works. You can't prove it. There is the engage from the Volibear. He is putting some damage down, but he doesn't have any follow-up. He's still trying to chase down onto this Viego. Viego actually goes down, and Yeti Boy flashes away. Stormbringer doing work for this Volibear. Flash forward, actually, from Silent Snow. Gets the shutdown. Big turnaround. Silent Snow finally getting his just desserts onto the Syndra.
Picked on for too long. Silent Snow puts the foot down, grabs the shutdown, and Lissandra continues to be a little bit better off in lane. Now, let's not sugarcoat it too much. Epic Champion's still up in lane, going to be able to return with the Ignite and probably keep the foot down onto Silent Snow. But it's much better than it could have been. They able to survive the tower. I don't know what happened with Viego. Flash was up that fight. Red Smite was up for most of that fight. Just didn't think they were going to turn it. And Ventry ends up going down. Leads to Champion falling. And it was a big gold swing back. Mid tower's still alive. They can't move the Syndra onto the map. And it's only at 11 minutes, a 2,500 gold lead.
I have a theory here.
All right.
And I think the theory might be Ventry did not actually have his hands in the right spot. That's why the Rift Herald came out at a bad time, and that's also why the flash didn't come. Epic Champion going for the stun, and it is Silent Snow just giving his jungler some space. And so we do check back up onto the gold here, as it is starting to wane a little bit. It's still like that. You can see the kill took a big chunk, but it's coming back up because the pressure is still there.
Yeah, the chunk comes out, and then the laners return to lane and continue their dominance, getting more CS, and that's just why it kind of rubber bands a little bit like that. But all in all, it was one whoopsie, and if that's the only whoopsie we see out of GSG, they're still in a good position. Caitlyn Lux onto this bot lane, doing all right. But that's the problem, is in the isolated 2v2, they just don't have enough. They really need the team down here. Yeti Boy is, and the ultimate's coming off of cooldown, but just going straight over to the Krugs, and you can see Pepsi starting to step forward, has summoners up, might fancy a bit of a flip in the bot lane.
It is still a dive onto the Shen, though, of all things, and that is very hard to dive. Pixelated Pizza gonna back away, and Ventry does not get the stun off, so see if they keep this pressure up. They still want to go for it. There is the stun. Great timing on that. Pixelated Pizza going for the flash. Still will get hit by the Heartbreaker, and now Ventry gonna back away because he does not have the ability to tank tower. Great escape again from Pixelated Pizza.
Yeah, even the flash coming out of Ventry and not being able to follow up. The Silent Snow that actually dropped a bit of CS to walk over, and that's the second dragon of the game over to ImPerium. They're buying themselves quite a bit of time. Now Pepsi Time could be in a very bad position. They know the Volibear just took the dragon, but no wards in their own jungle. I don't know if they can sense this coming or not.
This could be big as Yeti Boy. Now they are going in. The shift is down, and there is the Shen ult to keep Mase alive. And now 376 just gonna go down. Viego wants to come in and try and clean this one up. The Ignite will claim 376, and now it is the Viego resets are coming. And now Maselo, there is another one as a double kill comes through. Overall, a 2 for 2 in what should have been a big win for ImPerium.
Incredibly pivotal for two things right there. One, English Muffin stopped the Shen port from coming through. Shield was still nice, but the Mordekaiser being able to stop the Shen was very big. Turned the 4v2 rather into a 3v2, and then Ventry being in the right place at the right time, arrives at the scene, picks up 2 kills, continues this jungle domination that 874 started in the first game, and that looked like it could be the play that really turned the game into favorable position for ImPerium. But it got flipped on its head so early. 14 minutes down, and Epic Champion takes the kill. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a bit of a wide hitbox,
that was,
you know.
that was a Nautilus hook hitbox there. Silent Snow now just going to use the ult to stay alive, but now Yeti Boy is around. F Champion doesn't have the cooldown stun. Barely,
Oh,
almost doesn't kill. Now Silent
oh,
Snow is trying desperately, will
nice
pick it up with the
heal.
orb. And the heal to get in there now as Ventry has to back away 376, making sure that kill got picked up. And Epic Champion trying to keep pressure on, but look at the pincer from the bot side here. Lux trying to come in as Yeti Boy and Pixelated Pizza. Yeah, Epic Champion and Ventry say, we gotta go up towards this top side. And it will be the pickup onto Silent Snow again. Still putting that man so far into the ground, he doesn't know what air tastes like anymore.
Been underground and encased in ice all game long, having to continuously use the Frozen Tomb as a defense mechanism has left the options mid lane very, very weak. Yeti Boy getting invaded. I don't know if he wins this.
Yeah, he definitely does not. It will be the flash away. English Muffin not having the ult just yet. So a little bit of lucky timing for Yeti Boy will keep him alive. Dragon in 2 minutes, and I think that is really what ImPerium wants to try and get.
ImPerium have to go towards this dragon. They have to keep this soul stacking. They want to get anything done. It's Mythic for Mythic in the bot side, which is really not the lead you wanted at this point in time. You're down half an item in the top and mid lane. You can just see the gold is just pound for pound in the favor. Yeti Boy, I don't know.
Yeti Boy,
this.
You don't want that. Go to the Shadow Realm, Yugi Boy. You are way too... You are just a tiny twink boy, and you are getting obliterated by... Actually, hold up, wait. He bought friends, the Yeti Boy. He is not a loner Yeti Boy. He has pizza and a shadow to help him alongside, and that will be English Muffin going down in what should have been an easy kill.
Yeah, Spectator is kind of hard to see sometimes. I'm going to say this, and I could just be wrong, and they could tell me that I'm an idiot afterwards, but it's possible. It looked like what happened. When you were playing Mordekaiser and you go for the ER combo, you need to wait for the E to fully pull them in before you press ultimate. Otherwise, it's going to center on before the E pulls them, and they have a lot more room to walk back. I think English Muffin was too quick on the Death Realm and allowed Yeti Boy to have a lot of space to walk backwards and walk away from the Mordekaiser. Still probably goes down even if you get the kill, but...
Ooh,
oh, that's a jungle
big.
pick.
Yeah, actually, hold up. Wait, 376 hops off at the wrong time. Will just pop back on. Ventry getting very, very nice escape there, but that is the Heartbreaker. Down just 30 seconds before this dragon spawns.
That's 3 ultimates not available. The True Shot Barrage was fired off as well as the final chapter. And now it's really got to be on Epic Champion's shoulders. Not the worst shoulders to bear the load, mind you. He just needs to get that one quick kill on a priority target to turn the fight. It's 4v5. Shen has ultimate. That's another pick. Could cleanse. It's tense. You can tell how much ImPerium want this.
Yeah, but GSG also don't want to give it up. The TP is available for English Muffin, but he's staying on this bot side for the dragon, as Pixelated Pizza has both the TP and the ultimate ready. Split pushing on this top side. Even if ImPerium don't get this, if they can stall it out, it can work out.
Oh,
Dragon does reset. Here comes Yeti Boy. He has the Shen ult. There's the Stormbringer. Taunt onto English Muffin, but he is pretty beefy there. And the Shadow Realm goes to the Shen, and now the Caitlyn is down. Shadow is stuck over onto the side. They're not able to do a whole lot. Big Lux ult, but not enough damage. Flash away from the stun, and it will actually be the Mordekaiser that picks up the dragon. ImPerium left licking their wounds, running back to their base.
I am going to give benefit of the doubt to the GSG carries right there, because that was really, really pivotal out of Pepsi and Epic Champion to split up. The engage was coming in. They either had to go forward onto the Ezreal or to the side onto the Syndra. They chose forward. Epic Champion got a 3-man scatter the week and absolutely demolished the fight. If they would have chosen upwards towards Syndra, a 1-man scatter knocks the Lissandra back and your engage is done. The team fight is over. Ezreal can kite you out. They go the same way. That team fight doesn't look the same. Pivotal out of the carries.
Caitlyn not given an opportunity to get into that fight there, as Epic Champion just gonna farm up some wolves, and it is a reset once again. This buys so much time for GSG as it stops the ramping up soul point that was coming through for ImPerium, and now we are just gonna stall out. I would assume so at the very least.
It's possible, but it might just be that GSG start getting tempo on the map and kind of go into how we were playing last game with the just ramped style. They kind of have this 2-item spike on Syndra, closing in on it with the Ezreal Manamune, and that's a lot of damage out of Shadow, but can't convert. I feel like the gold lead's a bit misleading. It's 4,500.
Yeah, okay, but there is a fight in the top side, and there is the death roam. Pixelated Pizza has to survive, but I don't think it's going to happen here. Will actually hold on just for a little bit. Taunt comes through, and Pixelated Pizza is going to die for his sins. Ventry looking to maybe go in with the Yuumi, but will back away. Yeti Boy not able to keep his top laner alive, but at least gets the trade.
And this kind of what I was talking about with GSG, where they just want to keep their foot on the pedal. But you can see the gold's a little bit kind of misleading right now with the Lux having 3 kills. Ventry's gonna find a jungler. Ult's traded, however.
Yeah, so pretty simple pickup. God, I hate Syndra. That was QE. That's all that was. There is the Shen ult actually keeping this Lissandra alive, and it's going to be the pickup there. Shen getting that kill. Trade once again, but a lot burned just to get that trade through.
Oh, I think they're gonna hard commit onto the Baron with that many members on the bottom side of the map. I don't know if they have the damage to shred this. It looks like Shadow's going up to check. Will they get here in time? 9,000 on the Baron. It might just be gone. Final Spark not available. Oh, they need a quick exit.
Yeah, they are looking to go in. Yeti Boy walking forward, but it is already gone, buddy. You need to get out, and you are not going to do so. Mase trying to kite out the Viego will actually do it. Lux gets the kill. Lux gets a double kill now as Pepsi of Time trying to run away with the Yuumi on his back will survive. So at the end of the day, it is 2 people going down, 1 for 2, and the Baron going over to GSG.
GSG wanted to turn from the pit, but you saw they just didn't have enough gas in the tank. Pepsi of Time eating for damage onto the Baron, getting into the pit to stay away from Yeti Boy meant that they really had to stand their ground there, but they blew too many cooldowns on the Baron. They secure it. They've got it on 2 members. Yes, Epic Champion did not respawn in time, so it's Yuumi and Ezreal with the Baron. And I'd honestly like to see them split up, play on multiple lanes. You could have the Mordekaiser push a 3rd lane if you want to play on all 3. But I wouldn't mind to see Viego, Yuumi in 1 lane, Syndra, Ezreal in another, and Mordekaiser in the 3rd. Mordekaiser has no teleport, actually, as I say that, so they're going to focus on these 2 lanes and on this dragon specifically. I think it's a bit greedy to go for recalls and jungle camps here. 30 seconds is going to allow ImPerium to set up.
Pepsi gonna have to walk back pretty quickly, but yeah, like you said, the wards are coming through. Bind is gonna hit, but that is onto the Mordekaiser. He is a big, strong, beefy boy, and he's gonna eat up a little bit. Gotta keep that form up, get those calories in for the.
Shadow has a lot of damage right now. 5 and 1 on the Lux. Surprised
they're already doing this.
But it's the dragon start from ImPerium.
There is the souls coming in, just giving a little bit of protection. Actually, the smite doesn't come through, but it is the Shen that picks it up. Big final spark will do a lot of damage. He goes Muffet in the middle of the enemy team, and his team is not going to be there to help him as he comes out. It is a kill now, and there is the bind onto the Epic Champion. The Sandra passive starting to be scary. Yeti Boy does not have a lot of health. Pixelated Pizza flash taunt there. Ventry is going to get caught out. Yeti Boy hanging around to give a little bit of protection. Mase, it's going low, but will not die. Ultimately, it is just Yeti Boy going down for the dragon and 2 kills, while ImPerium were fighting against a Baroned up GSG.
Holy moly. You can see why this Yuumi draws a first round ban in game 1. Epic champion living there is absolutely surreal and keeps GSG afloat. See big numbers out of the 376's Moonstone already, and it's a really, really massive fight. It does give Soul Point over to ImPerium. They are 5k gold down rather, and it feels like tempo's there for GSG. But we do keep seeing this team make mistakes, and while their games have looked good against ImPerium, I think it's a point to note that, hey, this team is middle of the pack for a reason. They're making mistakes, and if ImPerium can punish enough of them, I really think they have a chance in this game.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's been really strong starts, but the execution mid to late game is leaving something to be desired, right? Because you look at this amazing gold lead that they have, and it's still not enough to confirm dragons. It's not enough to win fights and push down towers. The tier 2 towers haven't gone down at all for GSG, and it feels like they're very, very slow on this push that they have such a big lead on.
It's a pretty rough time for GSG. They've been struggling to convert small leads into bigger leads, is what it feels like from the outside looking in. A lot could be going on in comms right now. They don't really have that one guy who's just kind of absolutely overpowered. Now, Rabadon's coming in for Epic Champion could be that person, and the Syndra Scat of the Weeks have been pivotal in team fights past. So that's the champion to keep your eye on. So we're going to see Ezreal walk over ward. Sweeper doesn't find it there. It's mostly a group up here. I think the biggest problem right now for ImPerium, however, is just the fact that the gold is not on the members you want. It's a single kill on the Lissandra. It's 7 assists on the Caitlyn. Not able to get to that Infinity Edge. And it's just been a pretty rough time overall for the carries to bring this kind of damage that we're expecting. I mean, Shadow's got damage, but it's just not enough to convert into anything.
Yeah, I mean, and Viego is going to heal up. You got the Yuumi as well. And you look at the gold on these players here, the jungle and solo lanes are carrying GSG very hard. Top 3 gold players in the game. And it is just Caitlyn, then Ezreal, and it just drops off very hard there. So it's very clearly just a struggle for ImPerium to get money in their pockets to make these stats competitive.
I think the big note here is Silent Snow struggling to even stay above his jungler. Again, it's not due to just the inability to CS, it's how much of a target that GSG have put on this mid laner's back, and it's really starting to show. Now, a minute until this dragon, last time GSG had a very sloppy setup, thought they had tempo and just kind of wasted it. I want to see them be more proactive here. Set up before the dragon's ready. Recall's coming out at 45 seconds out of 3 members, synced up and ready to go. Rabadon's in the pocket of Epic Champion. This is the setup you need for this dragon. This is the soul you cannot give up. This is the miracle fight that ImPerium need to find.
Very much so, and it does give them, if they get that soul, that is a lot of gold value that is not going to show on that gold graph, enough to catch them up here pretty strongly. The blue buff's going to be given over to the Syndra before it starts. You can see they're fishing for that poke, trying to use that Lux as well as possible. As Silent Snow up on that top side still, has the TP, but is on his way down. We are watching the dragon spawn at 29 minutes, and it's going to be started by GSG. No, Shadow, you're on the ward! That is a big shutdown, and now Silent Snow caught out, uses the Zonias, and gonna go down here, trying to buy as much time as possible for the team to come around. There is the Shen ult, but it doesn't mean anything. That is a dead Lissandra. Everything is falling apart. Yeti Boy in the pit still, and I don't think they know that he's there.
Not on the
No!
He's found out.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Yeti Boy gonna use the Stormbreaker to get out. There is the flash away to get over the wall. English Muffin now actually may have gone a little bit too far. Dragon gonna be secured by Ventry. And that is just so unfortunate for GSG.
It's unfortunate, but it doesn't end. In fact, having all 5 members alive and knowing that the jungler has to reset, it could be a Baron start. They're trying to be a bit sneaky with it. Epic Champion staying mid. Very important flash away.
Yeah.
But they're trying to feign that they're not on the Baron. They're trying to fake that the other members have gone for a reset. Direct to Camera needs to get its butt up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on. You sit top lane all the time in the early game. Now you don't want to come for Pepsi time. Actually going down thanks to the Gale Force. There is the Baron steal. Yeti Boy is actually going to turn it around, get a massive steal for the team, and keep ImPerium in this series.
Oh, what a smite out of Yeti Boy. Tried for the soul and got found out, but takes the Baron right from GSG's nose, right from under GSG's nose, rather. And it
Not your nose.
Not the, yeah, they got something a little bit better than those. They got the big purple worm off the map. Muffin might be in trouble, but honestly, definitely coming up in a matter of seconds. Silent Snow, just let the man play League of Legends.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's playing the right champion to just stall out. There's the Shen'll, actually might buy enough time. There's the Zhonya's actually. Pixelated Pizza gonna try and keep his mid laner alive. Ventry trying to walk by. Ezreal not gonna hit anything as Ventry is trying to get more people down, but there are now an entire team coming. There is the one reset Shen. Very tanky boy. HP. And now, yeah, that is a massive turnaround as 376 just blocks it for the lulz and backs away with his jungler. Viego and Yuumi are champions together that are absurd to deal with.
Riot, just do me a favor. Make Yuumi unattach whenever Viego goes to possess a soul. It would really balance it, I promise. Like, that is just not okay that both of them get to go untargetable. And when you see the Shen pop up with a full HP bar, that pick turns into just sheer utter disappointment.
Yeah, it's unlike any other character in the game, really, that it's just such a hard reset when you do get that kill. Like, there is the Katarinas, there is the other reset champs, but there is nothing that has such a strong... Actually, Epic Champion, you still get popped. Epic Champion is very, very strong. You are not going to be able to deal with that. That has, unfortunately, there, I'll say, throwing a little bit of more gold into that Syndra's pocket. She is starting to hit late game here and starting to hit level 18, so there is going to be a bit of a power cap coming in. Silent Snow, the boy cannot exist.
Didn't go down in the top fight is something to note. It was Pixelated Pizza that fell, so Lissandra still has the Baron buff wearing, but even with Baron, they're on the back foot and they're struggling to find map pressure.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Shadow is doing damage though, and here's the thing that I'm watching. Level 16 on the Shen, level 16 coming up for the Lissandra. These are major ultimates. These are massive time buying ultimates against a team that is very reset and or burst focused. And focusing on getting kills in specific time. There is a bind coming in. Gonna go forward. Taunt comes in. Easy pickup now. TP from the Mordekaiser. He is gonna grab somebody into the Death Realm. It is going to be Silent Snow, I believe. And yeah, that is just gonna be another death for the Lissandra, most likely. Yeah, and they are gonna clean up English Muffin. Zhonya's will buy a little more time, but I don't think anybody's gonna come in to get him out of dodge. Yeti Boy using the Stormbreaker just to push away GSG. Another trade, 1 for 2, right before this dragon spawns. Oh, big damage on Ventry. It is just the cat and 2 tiny men walking around in this mid lane to try and stop this soul.
Damage. Lot of damage can come out of Shadow and Masse. 20 seconds onto the dragon. Champion will be up 10 before it spawns. 4v4 on the map will be the name of the game, but Silent Snow has teleport. Oh, Pepsi.
Oh, no, Mase not able to get the kill, actually, as that will be the engage. Ventry actually using the Heartbreaker way too early. Will go down. 376 needs to get to the Ezreal. Won't be able to do so. Pepsi of time. He is too low, and they may not be able to contest for this soul now because of that. Oh, no, the triple kill. Mase just gets the vision. Thanks to the blue trinket. Clean play from Mase trying to get his team into this game 3. Silent Snow getting low. Flash forward. English Muffin doesn't actually hit it. There is the Shadow Realm. Good trap. English Muffin trying to stay alive, but Mase does so much damage, and it's actually going to be the Caitlyn surviving throughout it all, getting the Shen ult just for a little bit of extra padding at the end of it. Pixelated Pizza now looking to maybe go forward. There is the Scat of the Week to keep the Epic Champion alive, and whoo! Soul did get picked up in the middle of all that.
Yes, GSG absolutely fell apart. One pick turned into two with a bad teleport. They tried to stay around the area to possibly contest the 4v5 Soul, but they just end up getting picked one after the other. The kill lead is now for ImPerium. The gold only 2,000 down, but that Soul more than makes up for that difference. 7 kills out of absolutely nowhere have been pushed into this Caitlyn. A 4.5 item spring up, and suddenly ImPerium have a very real chance. Caitlyn might have soul, but still gets one shot. Oh, goodness.
I have been informed by sources incredibly smart and much more intelligent than I am that it is Mace Ball, not
Thank you
Mase.
so much.
Yeah. So,
and that was one of the 3 times I said it beforehand, so.
Yeah, I mean, look. Clearly, you are the intelligent caster. There is Ezreal. Will spot out the Baron happening as Shadow tries to buy a little bit of time. Traps will be cleared out here. Towers are going down in the mid lane in the meantime.
Shen's on the bottom side, a while away from the tower. So ImPerium just want to stick around. Now it's a question, do you go mid? Do you get that inhibitor?
Ooh, there's a flank coming in now. English Muffin walking in, takes a huge chunk of damage. Will get hit by the Lissandra ultimate. Silent Snow gonna go down. Pepsi of Time is way into the back line here, trying to stay alive, kiting out Pixelated Pizza and Yeti Boy. Mace tried to go in on that. 376 gonna get taunted up, go down as well. Double kill for the Caitlyn, and now they are pushing in. That was a 1 for 3. Once again, these late game fights are always 1 for 2 or 1 for 3 in favor of ImPerium as they're going to start up the Baron, trying to pick out where this Viego is trying to come from.
Heartbreaker over the wall.
Yeah, there is a flash and a Heartbreaker available. If Ventry wants to try and get in, he is thinking about it. He's going in. There is the engage, but it is too late. Not enough time to get the smite across, and an easy pick up there. They are going to back. TP comes through just to push them off of that mid lane tower, and ImPerium are way back into this game.
Way back into this game. They've got a gold lead for the first time in a long time. And it's off the back of some really nice plays, and this AD carry finally showing up. It took so long to ramp up. Felt like it started at the beginning of game 1, and here at the 40-minute mark, Mace stands head and shoulders above Pepsi of Time as far as CS kills. Everything is concerned. The late game Caitlyn is online. 6 items if you count the boots, and right now Epic Champion has their sights set on one person. There is still a lot of burst coming in, but you have, like you've pointed out, that level 16 Shenna ultimate, plus the Maw of Malmortius. I don't know if they can burst through this Caitlyn or not, and if you don't kill it in one shot, that Ocean Soul will regen very, very quickly.
Yes.
Pushing now into the mid lane. Baron up. You can see the wave clear is very, very low for this team. Ventry found out. Good ward out of Shadow. Good.
Oh, but they still want to go for this. There is Mace getting hit by the Shadow Realm and will get popped real hard by this. Mordekaiser not going to be able to get out, but doesn't need to. He's going to be able to 1v1 him at this point, and there's the Shen ult for protection. Caitlyn ult actually hits onto the Ezreal and will pop him low, but Yuumi will heal him up. English Muffin going down once again. Shadow of the Week hits onto Imp Shadow, but it is not the person that needs to get hit right now. It is all about Mace, and he is alive and healthy right now.
Mace, forward, but the scatter does not find him. That's pretty much the big cooldown you have to look out for as the spark goes wide. Ventry, they need to make a last stand underneath the tower.
Pixelated Pizza trying to tank this one up, but nobody is hitting the tower just yet. They don't have the minions. They need to get the Baron buff on them so they go faster. Pixelated Pizza still tanking. They're still waiting on the Mordekaiser. Taunt will not hit. Pixelated Pizza going very low. Here's the engage. Ventry using the Heartbreaker immediately on the Mace, who will stay alive. There is the flash to stick. Keep him up. Pepsi of Time trying to get back to the base, but the base is gone, and it is the end of the game. It is 1-1 in the series, and ImPerium don't want to go home just yet.
Oh, we pointed it out. GSG were making mistakes. GSG were being sloppy. I had the skepticism. Hands in the air. I was wrong. I didn't think ImPerium could punish. They proved me wrong. They got Soul. They got their AD carry to the late game. And Mace absolutely carried them to a victory here. A big win. And they're going to need just one more. Again, this team needs to stay in playoffs contention. A win here with a team that they're fighting over could be massive for them in the long run.
Absolutely. And I mean, the wherewithal for ImPerium to stay in this game, despite how far down they were for such a long time, said, we got dragons. We're doing okay on that. We have the Caitlyn late game, who is just really, really scary here. And being able to stay in those fights, even when getting hit by those Mordekaiser ults, massive stuff for Mace there. And just basically pulled that team across there. But we are going to take a break as we get ready for the final game of the night. It all comes down to this. Game 3 will be on your screens in just a couple of minutes. And welcome back, everybody, to game 3 of the night. We are going the full distance with GSG and ImPerium, still staying on the same time, or same sides, rather, as I get paid to talk for money.
I'm glad you said it, because if you didn't, I was gonna.
Look, I get paid to speak. I don't get paid to speak well. There was nothing in the clause about speaking well. But we are going to get into the draft for game 3 in just a moment. This is the ultimate game. This is the final game of the night. Whoever wins this wins the series. And like we have mentioned, playoffs are coming up. Both these teams are near the bottom of the standings, and they want to make sure that they are getting themselves into an advantageous position going into those final weeks.
Very, very pivotal to get every win, especially against teams that are going to be fighting for those playoff spots. ImPerium bringing the series the distance, really wanting this win. They can kind of taste it. They haven't had many this split, and getting this upset over GSG would be huge for them. I think it starts back in draft, because we saw the adaptations coming in, committing to a full style, having kind of a synergistic comp worked wonders for ImPerium. Even when they had some rough points in the game, they were able to fall back on just a comp built to do one thing and doing that thing. So we need to see that come out again. GSG do lose another ban, still have the same substitute situation going on. Now I'm curious if the bans change out of GSG. Are we still going to see this support focus? So far, the Nautilus is staying off the table. Oh.
Yeah, so the Blitzcrank being taken away here, which... Oh, nope, Silas. That is Silas. I don't know how you click Blitzcrank when you're trying to hit Silas. That doesn't... Those two names are nowhere near each other, but it did apparently occur, and the Silas will be banned away. The Shen first pick once again, so ImPerium definitely seeming like they figured out what works for them and want to go with that.
Lux is taken off the board, but there's still other long-range mages and long-range enchanters you can pair with the Caitlyn if that's what you want to go for. GSG, I don't really want to see them run back the Ezreal Yuumi. Wasn't the greatest look, but it's also just how the team is really comfortable playing. They want to play around topside. They want to get Epic Champion ahead. You have to imagine he's going to get that R5 pick, and we're going to swap it up a little bit, but it's still going to be a weak side bot lane with the Senna locked in.
So yeah, definitely still a weak side bot lane now, as the Mordekaiser matchup once again. Shen not going to have a fun time, did not do great in that top lane until we got up to those late game team fights where the Shen ults just were so much more impactful than the Mordekaiser Death Realms. And definitely going to provide a little bit more pressure in that early game than something like the Yuumi will, but it is still generally going to be a hard matchup when you're going up against probably the Caitlyn Lux again.
Well, Lux is taken off the table, so Caitlyn X likely to be locked in here.
I can't speak, I can't see, you know.
It's a hard life getting into game 3 here. If I'm looking at GSG's draft from last game, however, I think the biggest thing I want to see different is going to be this jungle pick. Game 1, they had the Silas with the Malphite ultimate. They had hard engage every time they wanted it. They even got a little bit out of the Azir scoop from... oh, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name. From Ventry. And so having that hard engage is a really big tool that I think GSG need. They want to pull the trigger. They need to be able to do it. They also just locked in Nasa support with Senna. Nasa Senna bot lane. Game 3.
Okay, they did.
And from the makers of Sona Seraphine, did you expect anything else? Honestly.
Ideally, yes. I mean, so let's take stock of this, because we can say it is Nasus Senna, but it could also be, you know, like Nasus jungle, Mordekaiser jungle. Like there's flexibility here. I do think
You
you're
think it is?
correct. And the fact that 2/3 of the games that I am casting tonight make me want to scream is disappointing for my vocal cords and my mental state.
So I've played a little bit of the Nasus support, not a ton of it. I really have to say, I don't think it's that strong unless it's a counter pick. That being said, it was a counter pick, but I don't think this is the lane you counter pick it with.
Well, it's going to be Nasus farming, right? Like, Senna's technically going to be the carry late game. Nasus will be farming. So it's kind of like
it is
not
still a melee champion in a double ranged lane. I guess we don't know where the Zillion's going. They did ban Morgana, so there might be a bit of flexing here coming out. But Nasus is still going to take a lot of harassment when he has to walk up the farm. Zillion mid, it's Misfortune support. Maybe.
No, it could be MF mid, could be Caitlyn mid. Whatever it is, you're on your own, buddy.
Okay.
I'm done. You're good.
Thousand Eyes has officially left the building. Exit stage left. It didn't get better. It didn't get better. Leave.
Oh,
leave.
I see.
No, leave. No. It didn't get better.
Please do go on.
So when you have an AP jungle and an AP topside, the only logical pick left is Kai'Sa mid. You have to match an 80 carry mid with an 80 carry mid. That's also going to be dealing the same type of damage as the rest of your topside. How do you feel about being color this game? I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling up to this task.
I am at a loss for words. That's not any of the picks that were locked in.
Wait, what? Wait, did they say in client that like Misfortune? Okay,
I believe.
No,
okay,
we dropped out.
No, okay. You know, that does bring into question, were any of those picks correct? Or are we getting, you know, a little bit more
I mean, that was the Shen. I feel like that pick was correct. I'm not sure. Look, we misspelled Silas and got Blitzcrank somewhere along the line. We misspelled Shen and got Akshan. Like, SH, at least Akshan comes up, right?
Oh, man.
I can't wait.
I can.
I don't even know what to talk about because I don't know where any of these freaking champions are going. It could be Nasus mid, Kai'Sa Senna bot. It could be Caitlyn mid. If they paired Misfortune with Zillion, I'm leaving. Like,
Here, so I want to reiterate, this is game 3 of the night. This is not only game
oh yeah, we
3,
started half an hour late, by the way.
we started half an hour late. It's game 3 of the night, and both these teams like essentially need this win to stay in playoffs. And this is what we are getting.
This is what all the chips are on the table for. We went all in. Last hand of the night.
You know, I feel like these
2-7
teams,
offsuit.
all these teams heard put the chips on the table and they went for their Pringles cans and just emptied them onto the table. There was some miscommunication along the line and have completely misunderstood the saying, and this is what we ended up with.
I just have so many questions. Like, why have we been banning enchanters all game if we could just play Zillion? Like, that's supposed to be the guy who is the better enchanter, the harder scaling guy. And then we went double enchanters into Nasus with Senna. Maybe. Could be something else, who knows? Misfortune is here because you can't give up Misfortune Lilia. That's just a broken combination. So you have to pick that one away. Sejuani with one other melee. Like, there's just so many reasons to pick the champions on our screen. Right now, Zillion is... It's Caitlyn Misfortune bot lane. I can't. They put Zillion mid. I help. Send help.
Please.
I don't...
We're broken, guys.
It's triple AP topside versus Caitlyn Misfortune into Sen and Nasus. And it's...
Django has been ID'd as...
Yet?
Yeah, Django has been ID'd as the Wicked Witch of the West. He is melting away, and in order to fix him, we are going to take a break as we get ready for the final game of the night, whatever the hell it may bring. And we will be back as we get into game. And we are live for game 3 of the night. Everybody fanning out from their respective bases. ImPerium still staying on the blue side. GSG still staying on the right. And we are in for a doozy of a game today.
We will certainly be watching a game of League of Legends that is played on Summoner's Rift. That I can assure you of. Everything outside of that, pretty up in the air.
Only the winds will know.
Shadow is on a quest right now. That is 60. Oh no, only 40 gold in pocket. I thought I hit 2 members in the brush, but oh, one cast is one. I play support. I know how the item works.
Jesus Christ.
40 gold. Not gonna be able to purchase anything. Just gonna strut back onto the rift with a full mana bar and an arcane comet and a dream. A dream of going 2-1 in this series.
We have a couple of we have a couple of things to break down here. We have the Conqueror on the Lilia. We have the Arcane Comet on the Nasus here, who will be farming. So that will be essentially 80 carry Nasus with the Senna just farming up those souls. Lots of intrigue is the word I will use.
Yeah, no, it's League of Legends. Okay, let's actually try and.
I thought you were gonna say it's legal, and I was like, well, yeah,
it is
also a word
sadly.
to describe it.
Let's think about these a little bit. Okay, so Kai'Sa and the Zillion mid is pretty much going to be Kai'Sa shoving the wave. Bot lane is going to be pretty much what you saw. Senna is going to attempt to return damage. Nasus will throw out an E. Nasus will attempt to farm, and Nasus will take millions of damage. There is like some regen here. There are biscuits on the side of Senna. The Senna's going to have to trade very, very heavily. But it's one of those things that it becomes a very, very hard lane to deal with. You've got the harass out of the misfortune. You've got the Caitlyn range that you're never going to really close that gap. And you've got the longsword double pot start out of the Caitlyn. So it's going to be really hard to push. Senna's going to have to expend a lot to keep the Nasus in lane. Junglers did start opposite sides of the map. Ventry, top side started, cleared into bot lane. There's not really a gank option bot side in the health. Well, use Smite, so the health is absolutely doing fine. Sejuani pathing towards the top side. Again, not really a gank option. And
well,
said there was no
speaking of gank options, there is the W there, and that will be the stun, the root, the Imperial Shadow going down. First blood going over to Ventry on the Lilia.
Okay, Jungle Lilia picks up the first blood off of a really nice clear. Very efficient here in the early levels, and really nice out of Pepsi of time being able to throw that W before the jungler showed. Topside might be in trouble. Sejuani passive is very effective in these early ganks.
Yeah, there is the knockup, good CC layering, and that'll be the stun. Easy pickup. Pixelated Pizza says, it's my time to shine. Mordekaiser, you going in the ground, and a great start for the top side in Imperium's favor.
Yeah, really nice. It was... I'm glad Muffin did not go ahead and expend the flash there, because Sejuani just flashes after, gets the one tap for the passive E into auto, and it's a wrap. You're gonna save the summoner, not trade it with the jungle in that perspective, and just know that you're up the lane too far. Both side lanes getting punished for pretty much the same play, and it's the jungler getting the advantage in one, it's the Shen getting the advantage in the other. Note, mid lane very much going in Epic Champions favor thus far, up a decent amount of CS and heading back to lane already. Does have the Ignite, however, so Silent Snow's going to be able to answer some of this lane pressure by getting back to lane.
Yeah, and also importantly here, a pretty sizable wave missed by the Epic Champion there. So a little bit coming back there from the Zillion, and it's really just all about getting to those mid to late game fights where the revive can be very important. We are checking. Actually, this Nass is farming pretty decently, all things considered here. And I will be trying to keep up on those stack checks for the Senna and the Nasus.
Realistically, all things considered, you have to praise how 376 and Pepsi Town played the lane. They had the Lilia start top and path down to them so that they could get things happy. Yet he doesn't see this. Does he?
Oh, he's going in, and there is the smite. Wasn't ready for Ventry, and Yeti Boy's gonna pick that one up, flash away, and Ventry gonna follow, clean up the kill, but I think Yeti Boy's pretty happy about that one. Meanwhile, Death Realm up on the top side. English Muffin gonna try and get a kill on the Shed. Pixelated Pizza just sidesteps, doesn't care, goes back to farming his minions. That is not a happy time for English Muffin.
And not able to get anything out of the first Death Realm. And honestly, the big problem here is now that you cannot stop the Stand United with the Death Realm. You have to get in range of the E. It's a lot more dangerous underneath the tower. You have a lot less dueling potential once you stop it. And now it could be something where, look at a play on the bottom side of the map. Pixelated Pizza is just so calm and collected. Dodge the skill shots. If he gets hit, he dies, but not going
don't get hit.
Yeah, just don't get hit, Forehead. Easy enough.
Gonna get hit there. Does have cleanse this game to try and get away from those roots and the slows. Ventry peeking out on the bot side again, will be spotted by a ward. And like I said, it's the E max on the Nasus right now only has 9 stacks. The Senna, on the other hand, has 18, so close to that first range upgrade.
Yeti Boy into the bottom side. Kind of scouting out that something's amiss. Found Ventry, stops the recall. You can see a bit of an experience advantage for Silent Snow, even though Epic Champion does just now tick up to 6. Having Zillion in lane has just, yeah, actually top of the both solo laners for
Zillion good for experience.
Yeah, quite nice, quite nice. See, the Nasus hasn't been pushed off of too much farm or experience, which is really nice for the bottom side. But the kills have all gone over to Ventry thus far, and so I'm keeping my eyes on this Lilia. Champion can definitely run over games. This is a mid laner role swapped. We'll have to see what Ventry can do with this early influx of gold.
I think that's really kind of our big thing here, right? Ventry has 2 kills, really looking solid, but it has to make something happen here. There's going to be some big issues here as we do check in with the gold. You can see Ventry definitely very big, and Epic Champion also doing well on the gold aspect. But really, if you're looking at where the gold needs to be, Shen having it not bad. You wish your Caitlyn had more, but overall, I don't think that ImPerium are worried about this state of affairs at all.
Absolutely not. And you saw they're really comfortable. Well, maybe comfortable is not the word to describe last game, but they're quite happy to allow the Caitlyn to scale up and to get to that point. And it kind of comes to how the team is playing. You've got the Shen and Zillion just to buy time in the lanes and not lose too hard. Yeti Boy going for a flash over the wall to steal the early dragon to stop any ridiculously quick soul stacking.
Oh,
it's going to be a quick and easy dive top.
It's not even a dive, it is just a kill. There is not the Realm of Death. English Muffin just going to waste as much time as possible. Nothing burned, but everything gained for ImPerium. No dragon to take on the bot side as there is the Lilia trying to go through. Ooh, just barely not getting hit by that. And here comes Stand United to try and get... Oh my god, the bullet time is doing damage as 376 is trying to back away. Fury of the Sands will give him a little bit of health to stay alive. Ventry using that sleep just to keep his teammate alive. Ventry now just getting rooted, actually. Might be in a little bit of trouble. That is the shutdown picked up by Shadow. And bot lane goes horribly wrong for the Susan and the Senna.
The unseen trap is the deadliest, right in the corner of the brush. Ventry tried to dip in to maybe threaten going back in, but finds a cupcake on a little snap trap. And then Caitlyn picks up the first kill for themselves. Things are going very well for Imperium here in the early game. Gold starting to get onto the bottom side of this map. You saw they tried to get onto Shadow there, but Ventry found himself on a cupcake earlier in that endeavor too. Couldn't get any damage out, and Shadow was able to get the full bullet time over the top, making quick work of Pepsi and turning that fight very in their favors. Now, what does this mean? Ventry onto the top side of the map. Yeti Boy coming out, looking on the bottom side right now. There is a dragon to go. It's always a little bit scary getting these first two drakes when you could roll Cloud. Let's see.
Yeah.
Champion does have Ignite. Like, you gotta be worried about that passive proc into Ignite damage.
Oh, Pepsi if I'm actually going to get caught. There is the Kai'Sa Killer Instinct. Silent Snow going forward, holding on to that ultimate. Doesn't use it in time and will go down for free. But in the meantime, the pressure onto the Dragon Pit has been given over, and it seems like it's going to be a second early Dragon picked up here by Yeti Boys. The smite will come through true. Can they get out is the question. Yeti Boy going forward, getting slept, getting rooted. Now Mace and Imperium there trying to get damage down. Will kill the Lilia thanks to the fact that there was nobody to help. And Lilia goes down. A dragon in favor of Imperium, and they walk off smiling.
And you could see the GSG wanted to continue the play for the fight, not the dragon, but Pixelated Pizza teleported to the mid lane tower. Didn't even have the unleashed teleport, just right into the mid lane, walked over, was like, hey, you can't fight. You're now at a numbers disadvantage. Mordekaiser can't join the fight quick enough. I'll say not in trouble even with Mace, rather. Not in trouble even with the Wither coming down.
I've infected you.
Iris. You have quite effectively done that. Fimbulwinter, actually, I didn't notice, building towards the full tier item first on the Gnosis. A bit interesting, but I imagine that means he's going full Emax. Yeah, 4 points in it, not going into the queue at all. Ventry looking for something bot side, but they're going to get collapsed if they do. Silent and Yeti are both in the area. This is a massive bait.
Oh, yeah, but they have everybody coming around. Ventry has to flash away. Good flash, but will mean that Ventry has to basically run with no extra help there. There is the Death Realm coming in as Rift Herald will be spawned on the bot side. Pixelated Pizza trying to stay alive, rather, in this fight and will survive. Big flash to try and get the kill, but won't get it. Mace is now caught out by the root, but it is not going to be enough. Cleanse not even burned just yet. Silent Snow getting some damage onto this mid lane Kai'Sa here. That is one bomb, looking for the second maybe to come through. Flash is available, looking for it. There it is, will hit it and just walks away. Goodbye. Doesn't look at the explosion because he's too cool for it. Silent Snow finally getting something for himself in these games.
IMP claw back a victory in game 2, and you can see the momentum in game 3. Silent Snow has been cyberbullied these first 2 games. The confidence to flash Zillion Bomb after just getting demolished 2 lanes in a row is something I have to give the utmost respect for. Gets the kill, gets the Everfrost off the back of it, has the tier 2 boots, and Imperium are looking so good in game 3. Yeti Boy has come alive, getting both of the dragons on the bot side and getting the first Herald onto the top side of the map, doing what 874 wanted or did do in the first game, just massive objective control.
I actually want to point this out just for a split second. When Sejuani was farming the blue buff and stunned it, it kind of froze in its animation and it made it look like blue buff was dabbing, which is kind of cool. I got some enjoyment out of that one. The Imp Shadow actually getting hit by that root, but there is too much range for 376 to be able to do anything here, and still trying to get that Fimbulwinter completely filled up. Right now you can see that Ventry is hanging on the side. They want to get something done in this bot lane.
Yeah, the gold lead's not so massive that you can't get anything done. Ventry still strong with the Leandri's spike on the Lilia. The big thing right now is getting cooldowns out, maybe even getting a pick before this dragon. I said there was a small... Oh, trap into...
My God, the damage is insane from this bot lane. Massive turnaround from Shadow. The stuns, the roots have come through, but Pepsi of Time not respecting the damage period. The sands will play pop, and here comes Lilia.
Oh.
There's the E. Shadow will flash away from it now. Mace is trying to go back in. 376 needs to back away. He gets Scale Forced on, but that might be a little bit too far forward. Drowsy's going to come through. Will stop the Caitlyn ultimate, actually, as Yeti Boy's trying to get in on this Lilia, rather, and actually, hang on, that was actually a big Dawning Shadow. Will keep the Nasus alive at least for one kill, but Pixelated Pizza on the top side will also pick up a kill for himself. Massive stuff all around the map.
Really nice for Imperium. I'm gonna call it out a little bit there. It was on the corner of the screen. I think the Epic Champion got a bit baited by Silent Snow in that fight with the trade. Landed the W in that fight, had the ability to Killer Instinct in onto those low health targets. Had Ignite, had Flash, didn't go for it. And now it is Soul Point at 17 minutes. It is nearly a 2,000 gold lead to the team that we have been putting down, to the underdogs in game 3. You can see it started out for GSG, but Imperium just feel like they have so much more life in them game 3, and it's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, this is the first game where we have seen Imperium with a strong lead in the early game, too. And you can see how well they're able to play around that when they feel that confidence coming in. Shadow has the Leandries finished. The annoying MF is very, very potent at this point in the game. And now we are going to see, actually, Shadow gets hit once again. Does have bullet time available, and the traps will provide a little bit of protection. This bot lane, very hard to do anything to.
Yeah, the range is just stacked up to the point where if Senna Nasus can't run them down, they're just going to get run down. Kind of see that happening now. And, you know, it was quite the epic pick so many years ago when we saw the Misfortune come out support with the Ashe.
For that.
I was in a parking lot watching on my phone, and it was the greatest. I've never yelled so loud.
Well,
in
you're gonna
lot.
have to stop yelling for a split second because we got to fight in the top side. Death Realm will be used. Fighting the bot side as well. 376 actually staying alive after all of that and getting away. Big bullet time coming through, but it's not gonna stop them from chasing down the Caitlyn. Top side, the flash comes through from English Muffin. Will stay alive in the gank, and it is a nice win picked up in terms of the gold for GSG.
GSG not going quietly into the night. They survive the gank topside. They get the kill bot lane. They're gonna go for a dive. That's a Shen. And they're just gonna disengage. Back off completely. They had the Kaisa roaming down. I was really wondering if they were gonna commit 4v2 under the tower, but the Shen just buys so much time. And while it's a win across the map, Yeti Boy's gonna use the tempo that Ventry gave up on the bot side to grab the fifth neutral objective of the game. Rift Herald in pocket,
And ult.
and they're gonna make a play.
Yeah,
No
there's
flash,
the Stand
no
United
ult.
just for the teleport. Taunt will come through. Gonna get stunned again. Just give the kill over to the Shen as they're just gonna walk them down. And now this Mordekaiser is effectively a Death Realm user and nothing else.
Mordekaiser not getting the jungle attention that we saw last game, and as a result, well, to be fair, getting pretty much the same amount of jungle attention just from the
Shadow,
opposite
there
jungler.
is the Dawning
See.
Shadow not going to come out in time. Shadow gets the trade kill for the bullet time, and 376 also taken down to half health. This AP Misfortune is a massive threat, and it does not seem to be respected enough by GSG.
No, getting absolutely demolished. Pepsi thought the Dawning Shadow Shield could come in time, but gets killed during the windup. Thankfully, doesn't go on cooldown, so still has that big ultimate available, but would have loved to just survived and get the kill. Rather, it's a minute and a half until Soul. Usually we don't have to talk about it, but we really need to start taking stock. Fimbulwinter completed, Eclipse completed, Kaisa almost onto those 2 items, and Lilia barely about to get to her second item. On the opposite side of the rift, it's not looking a lot better. The gold is close enough that the item leads really aren't there yet. The gold is spread out. And it's really just these dragons that Imperium have to call an advantage right now. Player gold, you can see it's actually Vendril and Champion who sit on top of the gold just with really nice CS, and Vendril getting those early kills. And then it's kind of this Shen Caitlyn duo that needs to be the
Oh no.
Okay, that is a kill.
But yeah, Pixelated Pizza now getting pulled into the death realm. English Buffett, he is big and beefy. He is ready to fight, and Pixelated Pizza not going to be able to get that flash out in time. Unfortunate, and that is a waste, and that is right as the dragon spawned. No teleport, only the stand united available.
You know, I'm going to take this time to quickly flame top laners who always tell me that once you get behind, you can't ever get back ahead in the lane. I just watched a 0-4 top laner murder a 4-0 top laner.
Yeah, but that's Mordecai.
Bated breath. Yeah, no, I just wanted to flame top laners. I didn't say it was justified. Dragon immediately started off. Mordekaiser has no teleport. It's just a 4v4.
Yep,
Stand
you may or
United
may
is
not
up
know
in
that.
5 seconds.
Stand United will be available. Like you said, there is the root dashing forward. Yeti Boy going way too early, but there is a massive bullet time. It's tearing them apart, and they get onto Mace, but he is gonna stay alive. Zillion uses the ult onto the Caitlyn for perfect timing there, as I'm not entirely certain there what happened, but it is gonna be the Soul picked up at 23 minutes. Wow, these team fights are just fantastic from Imperium.
That was an incredibly narrow team fight. Yeti Boy dying before get the smite off on the dragon for HP, dying before the glacial prism could come out, but delivered Pixelated Pizza to the team fight. Such a massive amount of gold is on this Shen, and as long as Shen was there to play bodyguard for the Caitlyn, Mace and Yeti, a massive duo in this game, carrying Imperium to an early Soul, and maybe carrying them to a series victory as they look to be the favorites. Gold is strangely in GSG's favor, but I assure you, when you add up the applicable stats from these dragons and the Soul, they are not ahead whatsoever. It's probably about roughly a 2.5, 3,000 gold lead over to the side of Imperium.
Caitlyn will help them take this pretty darn fast, as there comes the bullet time, trying to zone them off. It's still not down yet. Will get the smite through now, and there is the flash forward for the sleep, as it will finally come out. There is the chrono shift to keep the MF alive, and Caitlyn untouched throughout all of this. 376. Yeah, Pizza is massive, and Mace going forward, getting into the death realm, tries to cleanse it out, but that doesn't work, buddy. You need a QSS. But Will now is English Muffin being huge, saving the team, and only one Baron buff makes it out alive. It is a 3-for-4 overall in the fight.
The 0-4 power spike comes online for English Muffin, gets a solo kill into a triple in the team fight. And honestly, I don't think Mace, well, maybe after that team fight he realizes it, but I don't think Mace in that team fight realized how much of the damage is on the Caitlyn's shoulders. Going forward too greedily right there was the death. Okay, 376. That was just greed.
I don't know if greed is the word that I would use for that. I think incorrect.
Maybe just lack of knowledge for, you know, APMF support. Is that more fair?
Yeah. Greed in gives the inclination that he knew the risks, and I'm gonna be real, I don't think he knew what the risks were there.
That is a very fair point. Check in with the Nautilus, actually, as we haven't in a bit. Well, we'll check in when he's alive, because that's how Spectator works. Never mind. Um,
Look at this
outside of that,
noob. Doesn't even know the basics.
Man, you're not wrong, but man, 135 stacks. Oh my! It's just a Wither second max.
Yep.
Okay.
Nasus is not going for the stacks. That is
Not
not what this
at
Nasus
all.
is about. He is all about the armor shred, all about the slow and attack speed slow.
Alright, gonna want to get that onto the Caitlyn. You can see that cleanse is such a ridiculously low cooldown. That's gonna be up for most fights, so need to see that propped by something else, maybe a Lilia E, or ultimate rather, a snare out of the center. Something needs to proc it before the Wither actually comes out. The Shadow, you know what? As much flame as we gave for the Nivea game 1 for not going the cheese, this is what we wanted. We wanted the stupid damage out of the funny support that just catches everyone by surprise and does so well because the enemy team just doesn't know what they're playing into. I think there is legitimately a lot of value that people have a hard time like conceptualizing when you're talking about making opponents play against something they're not used to playing against.
Oh, 100%. It's using that uncomfortability and putting them in a spot where they don't have the answer already, and having them critically think about that is very difficult when you are in a position where you're like, okay, we have supposedly practiced all of this. It is a major change to have that flipped around and say, well, this dude put on the clown nose and pants and embraced everything that is unholy about the video game.
I mean, it's still looking good for them. They still have the Hextexel, a massive boon. They've got the 3-item Caitlyn. Couldn't go for the Eye Edge just yet, but a massive carry in that. We have 1:15 coming up on an Elder Drake. Something that completely
time to go for the raid bosses. English Buffet gonna have to fight here. Uses the Death Realm early. Pixelated Pizza trying to dodge out for his life. Will survive till the end of it and dash away. And there's the rest of the team. Uses the Zonia's Pixelated Pizza. Do not go in, my friend. Yeah, let your team finish that one off. Pixelated Pizza. Very good bait there. And now the rest of the team gonna try and do something on the top side because they know that this dragon is going to be hard to get that space back for.
One tower has gone down. They're going to get a teleport out of the top laner as well. They're going to try and chase down Champion. It's slow from Hextexel, trying to be enough, but not quite going to find it. Now it's 25 seconds, and the map's a bit split here. Everyone needs to get down to this objective, but the vision is for... Oh, yeah.
That is the power that first kill got them. The Mordekaiser going down meant that there was no vision in that area, and Senna does not do well when she's walking into a bush she doesn't know what's in.
Nope, very fragile Champion going the lethality build. Gets one tapped very easily. Now Ventry, no blast cone. Flash up in a second.
No, went on a trap. Ventry's gonna go down. A trap that was unseen. Silent Snow, great follow-up, and Mace getting the Gale Force to confirm the Elder Dragon. Full Hextech Soul and Elder Dragon. There is an incredibly strong power spike in this ImPerium squad right now.
Yeah, they're going to be able to push in these couple waves, and honestly, if they want to go for the trifecta, Baron's up in 30 seconds. The wave clear is decent, but the damage is crazy out of ImPerium. They might just want to fish for kills right now.
Ooh, they're not extremely tanky in terms of tanking towers without minions just yet. They really are looking for that siege.
Shadow can be absolutely massive here, pushing them off, but no, they're going to use a bit of this Elder Drake time to say, hey, you can't come fight us. This is a free Baron. If you show up, we murder you. If you don't, we get the objective that allows us to push into your base. And it's a win-win scenario for ImPerium, so you can't blame them for going for it.
If you show up, we kill you. If you don't show up, we kill you later.
Yeah,
is
pretty
really the
much.
option. Yeah. So Baron gonna be given over for free. Nothing to be gained on the other side as Vinci tries to push around onto that bot side, get some kind of towers going, and get that objective
Okay.
gold. No backs coming through. Mace
This is
trying desperately. Look at the gold graph there, just how wild it has been.
there's a lot of gold unspent right now is the problem. Thousands and thousands are sitting in the pockets of Imperium. They have Baron, they have Elder. They want to use the combo for as long as possible, but they are giving up some value in gold to do
Oh, there
so.
is the Glacial Prison, not going
Big
to hit. Yeti
drowsy.
Boy, big 10-man sleep actually coming through, and that is actually the follow-up from English Muffin. He's going to fight Yeti Boy, and he's going to win that one. Comes out no worse for wear, but the bullet time is huge. Another kill. English Muffin actually still staying alive. They're winning the fight, even though they don't have the Hextech Soul. They don't have the Dragon. They don't have the Baron, but they have the wherewithal to hold them off and keep their base alive. GSG are nuts.
There was at least 7,000, maybe 8 or more in the pockets of Imperium, and it was just far too. I understand, they wanted to use as much as the Baron Elder combo as possible. They wanted to get as much out of the buffs, but they opened themselves up to a disadvantaged team fight, even with the Elder. GSG navigate the fight well enough to make it out. Need the Hextech Soul for the slow. No taunt just yet.
Oh, that will definitely push them away, actually. As the Killer Instinct threat, the AP hybrid, whatever in God's name Riot has created with this champion, is very threatening to go in.
It's AP with Mirror Mana because that gives Q Evolve in one item. KW.
Like,
Thanks for that one, right? That was really
dude, I
necessary.
deal enough of Twitch chat already. I don't need to hear it too. Just God. English Muffin now getting hit by the Glacial Prison. There is the bullet time, but it's going to be dodged out from with the Death Realm. Actually, Pixelated Pizza backing away. Yeti Boy going to try and stay in this fight very deep in. There's the Stand United to keep Yeti Boy healthy. Big two-man taunt onto Pepsi and Ventry. Epic Champion trying to stay in the fight. Big Drowsy coming in. They're so low, but can Ventry get in? That is one kill. That is two. There is the Chrono Shift onto Mace to keep him alive, and it is just the Nasus to try and hold them off from pushing into the base. He has no mana, though, and he's gonna have to watch as Imperium go from 0-1 to 2-1 to take game 3 and win the whole series and keep themselves in the playoff push.
The mini reverse sweep completed by Imperium. Massive shout out to Mace, who had back-to-back Caitlyn carry performances. And honestly, silent carries really need to be spoken out. Pixelated Pizza on Shen. You had Silent Snow, who just was willing to go down in lane and play useful champions. Yeti Boy, I don't know what happened from game 1 to game 2 and 3 because that man just decided that objectives existed and took as many as possible. I mean, it was the 2 early dragons in game 2 that kept Imperium in that game for so long. It was Yeti Boy getting every neutral on the map this game. Not a single neutral went over to Ventry, and it was just a really nice jungle performance after such a honestly, he got slapped game 1. It was a really nice bounce back out of the jungler.
It was really, really solid stuff. And I mean, the mental stability to be able to go from how poorly game 1 really did go for Imperium and come back around for game 2 and 3. And yeah, game 2 also did not start out well. We were starting to think it was just going to be the 2-0 and GST were going to go on and Imperium were going to be going home empty-handed, but the hold on the mental to stay in that game and bring it back later on, and then to come in and have the momentum push into game 3, have that early lead, massive stuff from Imperium.
Yeah, I mean, even game 3, GSG started out with a 3-kill advantage. Ventry getting into that bot lane really made a difference. They did answer a kill back. I'm sorry, it was 2-1 as the Mordekaiser did get kicked top. Checking my memory bank there on that one. And it, GSG had the early advantage in all 3 games, and 2 out of the 3, it was just resilience out of Imperium coming back into these fights. Really nice out of Yeti, like I said, to focus on the neutrals even when they're behind. Really nice out of the solo laners to really just play, hey, my bot lane's gonna carry me kind of style and put that kind of pressure into Mace. Like Caitlyn is this champion right now where we're not seeing it in pro play because the first couple levels are great and then you trough for so long unless you were like miles ahead on gold. And this team is like, no, it's fine. We'll draft around it. We'll sit. We'll scale. You get to 4 items, and you're suddenly a great champion again. And Mace made it there 2 games in a row. Big score lines both times. You could see it. Silent Snow flashing and letting himself die to get the chrono shift onto the
Yeah.
Caitlyn.
I,
They
I
know
was
where their eggs are.
I,
It's
I was
in the
gonna
Mace
point that
basket.
out. Like, not only just that, but the wherewithal from Silent Snow after getting really beat down in games 1 and 2. Just hard jungle attention, hard support attention, constant conflict, keeping him from being able to actually do anything in those first 2 games. He effectively did not play League of Legends until game 3
Yep.
and a little bit of game 2, and it worked out really well on champions that are meant to be those support champions with the Lissandra and the Zillion. Imperium, great stuff, and I think the things that we saw in game 1 that GSG were a little sloppy on did come back to bite them at the end of the day. But do you have any other words for this before we close this one out?
I think GSG kind of needs. I think GSG needs to take a page out of Imperium's book and say, "Hey, if our bot lane is going to play all these crazy things, we need to understand what they're doing." Because it felt like Pepsi and 376 were just doing things, and sometimes they worked with a team, and sometimes they didn't. Game 1, you saw Pepsi was the one roaming around. Game 2, 376 was all around the map on the Yumi. And then game 3, they both sat bot and things just kind of fell apart on the top side and it wasn't exactly the same for them. So getting on the same page with the bot lane makes the weird, crazy, kooky picks that they're pulling out that much more threatening.
Yeah. Well, congrats to Imperium, condolences
Massive comeback.
to GSG, and that is going to be it for us. Week 6 is in the books. We are closing in on playoffs, guys. Don't want to miss it. Next week is closing even closer. We will see you guys next time. I am Thousand Eyes. That is Django. And enjoy your week.
Bye bye.